All over the planet Vegeta, an incredible power would be made even the planets that would nearly rumble. That's right, a Saiyan baby had been born with an exorbitant power. So much was his power that this time all the trackers had exploded when trying to measure his power. But something strange was that this Saiyan seemed to have been born with the shape of an Ozaru. However, in the same way, he retained several human traits, which surprised the doctors who observed such a phenomenon. Even his father Bardock, who was a low-class Saiyan, he was very surprised of all the power that was being released by his son.
How is this possible? Yes, Gogeta and I are low-class warriors, but I have no doubt that he's my son, since his face is identical to mine.
All these rumors would even reach King Vegeta, who was furious knowing that a new Saiyan had been able to overcome the power of his little son. Given the order to eradicate that little warrior, several soldiers in charge of King Vegeta would come to end the life of the baby, which, despite possessing an incredible power, would not be able to defend himself, having only a few days of birth. But on the way, they found their father, Bardock.
I know this stupid King Vegeta would try to end the life of my dear son, since he can't stand that baby, has even outgrown his power.
The soldiers, sent without any words, had launched against Bardock confident, because Bardock, despite being a warrior, was considered low class. Energy spheres would be thrown, causing great chaos around the place, but Bardock, with all his experience, was able to end the life of each of the soldiers who tried to end the life of his beloved son. However, he had not come out immune to being several soldiers.
That was a complex thing, but I plan to give even my life as long as Kakarot's fate is different. I trust that he'll finish with that damn Frieza.
However, a much more powerful warrior than the rest would stand in front of Bardock, which had even surprised him because he was one of the trusted soldiers of the powerful Frieza.
What the hell? Why the hell are you attacking me? Well, we've fulfilled each other out of the orders of the great Frieza. You must know, we can't risk that the legendary Super Saiyan is born, and we know that a child has been born with a great power that even surpasses the elite warriors. But don't feel bad, because in the same way the great Frieza would finish with you.
But the warrior was able to throw a powerful energy attack from his mouth, with which he was almost able to end Bardock's life.
Apparently it didn't even help me to warm up. I better come back with the great Frieza, because soon they will start with the fireworks of the planet Vegeta.
The warrior would quickly leave. However, Bardock, among the bodies of the other warriors, was able to stand up, but his whole body was in terrible condition. Even his power had fallen to the lowest, expelling large amounts of blood, because that attack was almost able to end his life.
My body hurts too much. I feel like I'm about to die, but I'm not gonna let Kakarot's fate be cut off. He still can't defend himself.
Bardock with his ship would arrive quickly to the recovery capsules, in which after spending only 5 hours, he was able to recover completely. Dressing quickly, going to where his wife Gine was. Bardock, I'm glad you're here. Kakarot's power had been so much, he'd been considered the most powerful warrior on the whole planet Vegeta, but his appearance is rare.
No, Gine, there's no time for any of this. You have to quickly switch to Kakarot, which tonight we'll send to planet Earth.
What did you say? I can't believe you mean it. I know you're saying warrior, but little Kakarot's just a baby. He won't be able to defend himself.
Believe me, Gine, on that planet Earth he'll have more chances to flee. You and I will be the decoy, because if that damn Frieza realizes we're not on the planet, he'll finish with us.
Bardock, please calm down. What are you talking about?
Gine, I wasn't able to come back yesterday, since the cursed King Vegeta sent soldiers to finish with Kakarot, but I was able to defeat them. But Kakarot's powers even reached Frieza's ears, and I wasn't able to do anything against his warrior.
Gine was surprised by everything Bardock said, but she would be taken out of her thoughts.
So Gine, I only ask that you trust me. We have to send Kakarot to planet Earth, since there's no warriors there that we can, although the power is incredible.
I hope that you're wrong, Bardock, but if you're sure, let's do it. When the night came, Bardock and Gine had encapsulated Kakarot in a ship bound for the planet Earth, in which his parents observed their little son for the last time.
You have to survive, Kakarot. I trust you. I know that you'll become the most powerful Saiyan of all time.
We promise to come to you, dear son, so survive. You arrive in your body the most powerful blood of this entire solar system. You are a powerful elite Saiyan. The ship had left the planet Vegeta, heading to an incredible speed towards the planet Earth. which at the moment of colliding with the planet would arrive towards a rocky area of the planet, in which instantly an old man was passing by the place, noticing a great light.
What is this great light? Is there supposed to be absolutely nothing around these places?
The grandfather named Gohan would approach towards the great light, being surprised to realize that it was a simple baby, but when he got much closer, he was surprised since he would realize that he was not an ordinary baby, since he had fur all over his body. Grandfather Gohan would take a few steps to leave, but he would return since he was unable to leave an abandoned baby. So Grandfather Gohan would take him to Case to raise him completely. However, Kakarot's behavior was very explosive, because the instinct of the Saiyans ran through his whole body, which was to destroy everything in his path. One day, in which both were of a great precipice, Kakarot would fall by the abyss, having a big blow on the head, which would make his behavior change completely. He wanted to continue training and become more powerful, but his thirst for destruction had completely ceased.
Now I remember, I haven't named you. I hope you'll excuse this poor old man, but I'll call you Goku.
The days passed until on a full moon Goku would be observed to completely. Something very unusual happened. That's right, because even though Goku was in his Super Saiyan Phase 4, Goku was able to access an Ozaru, but this time it was of a golden color. While his power was incredible, he would begin to destroy everything around him. Grandpa Gohan, not knowing that it was Goku, would try to stop him with his best techniques, but Goku, possessing control in said transformation, would not be able to do absolutely anything, ending with the life of his grandfather. Thus, the night and the days had passed in which Goku, on this occasion, would become much more powerful, and would be able to defeat each of his enemies with great ease, since his power was incredible for his part. In the ship of the Emperor of Evil, Frieza, he was very thoughtful.
I feel that something is not right, but I have nothing to worry about. I have been able to end the life of that pathetic baby who was born with a great power.
My lord, is there anything bothering you? If that's the case, let me tell you that you count on me for absolutely everything, my lord. You have nothing to worry about.
I thank you, soldier, but I'm just thinking, so don't worry.
Returning to planet Earth, a few years had already passed in which Goku would be able to become good friends. He even had a son, called him the same way Gohan had his father. However, all over the planet Earth, in the same way a Saiyan ship had arrived in search of Kakarot. That's right, it was his older brother, Raditz.
What the hell is he supposed to be? How is it possible that this useless one from Kakarot didn't just destroy this planet? At the moment, I'm planning to finish with it.
Raditz, with the help of the tracker, was able to locate the most powerful warrior of the entire planet Earth. And when Goku was not able to hide his power completely, he would be perceived by Raditz, who would quickly arrive at House, which was the place where he was. Goku, realizing that the warrior in front of him even exceeded the power of Piccolo, would observe him intently, but would not put himself on guard since for Goku he was a Moor.
I don't know who the hell you are, but you better get out of here if you don't want to die.
Don't say stupid things. Even if you don't remember it, I'm your older brother, so I'm much more powerful than you.
You're just another insect if I compare you to my true power, so go away.
If you disobey your older brother, I'll have to teach you good manners. And for that, I'll take your son, who I'm able to notice that in his veins runs the Saiyan blood. Raditz would move at a great speed, but for Goku it was nothing, because at that precise moment, Goku was able to hold him tightly by the neck, making him fall. But before causing much more damage in House, this, with great speed, would take him to an inhospitable place in which instantly he would throw him towards a few mountains, creating a great destruction all around.
Now, yes, there's no one here, so tell me, what the hell do you want?
Were Mom's words even true? You were born with the power of an elite class warrior craves. But Raditz, without letting himself be defeated so easily, had thrown himself against Goku. However, the exchange of blows only lasted 40 seconds, in which Raditz wasn't able to do absolutely anything against Goku. While for his part, Raditz had bruises all over his body, because the blows that Goku had connected to him were of overwhelming power. So Goku, with a slight blow to his stomach, was able to make him fall, creating a big explosion, leaving Raditz on the verge of death.
Oh, damn. I seem to have overdone it with that punch. I didn't want him to die.
Goku would immediately approach Raditz, stretching out one of his hands, beginning to transmit a little of his energy to him so that he's not in mortal danger.
At this moment, I want you to explain to me the reason why you've come to planet Earth. What is it that you want?
Okay,
I'm really not able to do anything against you, so I'll tell you everything.
Raditz would tell everything that had happened since the explosion of the planet Vegeta, as even his parents had sacrificed themselves so that Kakarot would be able to reach the planet Earth, while Bardock, his father, had total confidence that Kakarot would be able to defeat the Emperor of the Universe, Frieza, who was the cause of the destruction of the planet Vegeta. I understand from where you are giving me to understand. You want me to join you so that you'll be able to defeat that Frieza. Indeed, if you really have the power to surpass the elite class Saiyans, we're sure that with you, our victory of chance increases greatly. I'll help you, but I want you to know something. I plan to only fight against that bastard, because since I already arrived on this planet, no warrior's been able to give me a good battle. But against Frieza, that'll be impossible for you. The conversation of both would be interrupted by the Prince of the Saiyans. Raditz, if you've been able to convince your brother, go to the planet Namek. Since the cursed Frieza has been able to discover the spheres of that place are capable of granting him immortality. My Saiyan blood boils with emotion. If you don't accept my condition, I'll also go on my own to the planet Namek since I have heard everything. Okay, I accept your condition. Now let's leave this place. We have to go quickly. Raditz was able to take one more out of the spaceships, so at the moment Goku would say goodbye to each of his friends, leaving for the planet Namek, where he would meet for the first time with the cause of the extinction of his race. For his part, the evil Emperor had already been able to reach the planet Namek, and with the help of his soldiers was able to get 2 of the 7 Dragon Balls, but hundreds of inhabitants of the planet had died. This damn feeling continues, even though it's been years, so I have to get a hold of immortality. I'll be able to even destroy the damn Beerus. For their part, Goku and Raditz were also heading at high speed towards the planet Namek, where both Saiyans Vegeta and Nappa were. Quickly, 7 days passed in which Goku and Raditz were able to reach the planet Namek, but the moment they arrived, they realized that Prince Vegeta was in terrible condition and on the verge of death. Since Frieza had requested the presence of his most powerful warriors, these warriors were the elite of the Emperor of Evil, Frieza. No, damn, we won't be able to do anything against Frieza's elite. Those guys wouldn't even be able to call warriors, because they're extremely weak. Goku, by raising his power a little, was able to almost destroy the planet Namek, while everything around him began to crack, just like all the trackers on the planet were completely destroyed because that power was gigantic. Goku had been able to make the whole planet Namek shudder, because his power seemed to have no limit. Frieza's gaze would change completely because the pressure he felt was incredible, since Frieza wasn't able to feel the power of his enemy, but of the incredible pressure that spread throughout the planet. No! Whose incredible power is this? The evil Emperor had panicked when he had felt all the incredible power. For his part, Goku was able to get in front of the warriors who were almost capable of ending Vegeta's life. Goku, watching him, was able to throw one of his seeds, which were able to recover all the vitality of the user. And Vegeta, being a Saiyan, was able to get an incredible increase in power, being equally surprised to realize the appearance that Saiyan had. So this is the Saiyan that everyone's talking about. I can't believe it. It really has been an incredible power. Although I'm not able to feel it, my body is shaking. Goku would begin to walk towards the enemies, which were the 4 warriors, and they belonged to the elite of Frieza, which without caring about anything began to mock. But among them all, his captain was able to just as well take a step forward. You have no right to mock. I'm sure this warrior is capable of giving battle to me, so you wouldn't be able to do anything against him. Don't underestimate yourself, since your power is absolutely nothing compared to my true power. Even that guy named Frieza doesn't possess a power that amazes me. Damn, you dare talk to the mighty Frieza like that? He's the emperor of the whole universe. There's no warrior more powerful than he. Goku having much more power, he was able to move at an incredible speed against Ginyu, being able to end his life with a slight blow to the chest. That's right, the most powerful warrior had fallen to Goku with a single blow, so the trio of warriors would try to flee. Do you think they can run away? Planetary attraction! An incredible force of gravity would begin to drag all the warriors to where Goku was, and being a few centimeters away, the warriors tried to attack, being in vain, because at that moment, Goku, with expelling his aura in the elite form of fire, was able to completely evaporate them, leaving absolutely nothing. Raditz, were these weaklings really the elite of the guy named Frieza? Of course, Kakarot. You've surprised me. I didn't think you'd be able to finish everyone at once.
How great is your power?
But while Goku was approaching, he had quickly noticed how a beam of energy was heading towards Raditz and Vegeta. So Goku, with a fist of wind, was able to send them flying, which would cause Vegeta's fury.
I know you're much more powerful than me, but I have no plans to let you disrespect me. I'm the Prince of the Saiyans, you worm.
But even surprised to realize that Frieza was in front of them. That's right, the time Frieza hadn't even accessed his final form, with which his power was surprising for the Saiyans who were there. However, it was not surprising at all for Goku.
So you're the Saiyan who's been able to be born with a power that even surpassed the elite Saiyan warriors. I'll give you my offer. Join my army and become the absolute commander.
It's a pity I don't like to take orders from anyone, and I only came to this planet to be able to realize that you are able to make me use all my power.
In that case, I'm planning to end your existence. You won't get out of this place alive. I'll use all my power.
Frieza rushed against Goku, with their battle beginning to cause devastation all around him. That's right, hundreds of lightning bolts were released by each of his fists. However, Frieza's arms were trembling because of the power that Goku was able to use each of his blows. Unlike Goku, he was only using a small part of his true power, so he had no difficulty in keeping up with Frieza. However, Goku, to increase his power a little more, he would start to grant him thousands of blows all over his body, which, when Frieza would fall to the ground, would expel large amounts of blood.
Oh, damn. I feel like my body's collapsing. I can't lose against this ape. You are of an inferior race to me.
It doesn't seem like to me that I'm inferior to you, since you're the one eating dust, not me. So stand up and let's keep fighting. I can't see what my eyes are watching. Even all of us try to do something only to be the Frieza's elite, and we're completely defeated. At this moment, there's no doubt whatsoever. Really, Kakarot's the legendary Super Saiyan that was talked about so much. Father, your sacrifice has not been in vain.
Goku would begin to approach Frieza, while a much more powerful pressure would fall on his entire body, causing several of his bones to break completely. On the other hand, in the ship of the evil Emperor, one of his soldiers would notice that Frieza's symptoms were beginning to decrease rapidly, so he would quickly communicate with the powerful King Cold, as well as with his brother Cooler. So both emperors in the same way began to go to the planet Namek.
I can't believe a single warrior would be able to beat the crap out of Frieza. But now, interesting. This would be a nice stretch, and likewise Cooler has been informed.
The stupid Frieza always is so confident. I bet that's why he wasn't able to do anything against his opponent. I'll have to save him.
Returned to the battlefield, Frieza would stand up very hardly.
Wow, I'm surprised that you were able to stand up while my pressure was active.
I don't mind dying in this place, but I'm not going to let you make fun of me. I, the Emperor of Evil, will show you 100% of all my power.
Frieza at the moment would begin to access 100% of all his power, with which the whole planet would begin to shake. That's right, the planet was not able to withstand two great powers. Frieza's musculature would increase a little, but his power had exploded hundreds of times more. So he would observe Goku with a very serious look.
I hope you're ready to die, because at this very moment I will annihilate you.
Frieza threw himself against Goku, who, with the intention of testing the power of his enemy, would let himself be completely hit. That's right, all of Frieza's fists, attacks, and kicks were able to connect throughout Goku's body.
No, damn. Not even the legendary Super Saiyan's able to stand up to that. But Kakarot's been at fault, as it's allowed him to access his maximum power. Vegeta, we better help Kakarot, because if we don't, after him, we'll follow.
But before both Saiyans interfered, Goku would fall to the ground, creating an incredible destruction all over the battlefield. Even lava was coming out of several volcanoes.
Haha, that's what you deserve for underestimating the Emperor Evil Frieza.
Instantly, both ships had arrived on the planet Namek, so King Cold and Cooler would come out, prostrating themselves to the side of Frieza.
Ho ho ho! I can tell that damn trash you've been able to force you to use 100% of all your power. But your body's in pieces, Frieza. Did you trust yourself?
Hahaha, Father, that's more than evident. Since his opponents are pathetic Saiyans, they don't possess the necessary power to defeat us. And if they were able to leave Frieza in those conditions, it has been by Confio.
No, damn. This would be our end. Even two warriors who have arrived look much more powerful than Frieza.
At that moment, a great aura would rise all over the battlefield, which left Frieza surprised since he had hit it with all his power. Goku would spit out some blood, watching the new warriors who had arrived.
Frieza, if that's the maximum power you've got, you left me disappointed.
since I thought you'd be able to hit me much harder. You're a good for nothing. Damn worm, I won't let you make fun of me anymore. Oh, nothing more compared to me. Even your planet was destroyed by me.
Goku would hold Frieza's fist with only one of his hands while staring at him.
Frieza, you're nothing against me, so I'll give you all the advantage. Fight the three of you against me.
Frieza was able to say something. He would spit blood, and Goku inserts his fist into his stomach, making him spit large amounts of blood. Then both warriors would intervene on the battlefield, pouncing against Goku. Most Saiyans likewise would also want to intervene in the battle, however, they knew that they didn't have the required power to face both of the warriors. But they were surprised when they realized that Goku was able to face three warriors without any difficulty. So it is, Goku, of a great expulsion of his power, was able to send them to fly to some of the mountains, destroying everything around him. So instantly, Frieza and his father launched themselves against Goku, while on the other hand, Cooler would begin to access his maximum power. That's right, Cooler was much more powerful than his brother, so he had still had one more transformation. His power began to grow in an incredible way, while his body seemed to wear a great armor, as his musculature would increase.
You're the first warrior who forces me to use a fifth form. I hope that you're prepared to die, since you will not be able to withstand a single one of my blows.
Cooler would rush at an incredible speed against Goku. Instantly, Frieza and King Cold would turn to the side, so Cooler was able to connect his incredible blow to Goku's face. But to everyone's surprise, Cooler's incredible blow wasn't even able to make Goku's head move. So Goku, with a smile, expelled a little of his power, causing incredible damage to Cooler.
It's time for me to move my muscles a little. Devastating planetary!
A great attack would rise into the air, so hundreds of rays surrounded Cooler, causing him incredible damage, which made him fall to the ground on the verge of death. Without being able to move any of his joints, the Cold King, observing this, would pass to his last transformation. While Frieza would try to attack him, Goku would stretch out one of his hands.
Don't rush! I'll give your father the time to transform, and between the two attack me, so don't waste your energies!
Frieza, furious, swung his pride, was not able to do anything, just waiting for his father to be able to access 100% of all his power. After a few minutes, a big explosion would be generated all over the place, watching King Cold at his maximum power.
It's time to end this battle, Cooler. I know you're very badly injured, but you better try to fight, because if you're not able to beat him, all of us will die today. So make your last effort.
Cooler, with his maximum effort, was able to stand up, with which the three warriors started attacking Goku. However, everything was in vain because despite having the numerical advantage, Son Goku's power was on another level. So Goku was only responsible for dodging each of his blows. So instantly, Goku would observe them with a smile.
I've granted you the time required for you to be able to harm me. Now it's my turn to attack, so get ready! I'll eradicate you!
Goku, with his great speed, was able to cross the chest of King Cold, being able to even take out his heart, so he would fall to the ground lifeless. Frieza, furious in the same way, rushed against Goku. However, Goku, holding his head tightly, was able to tear off his head, making Frieza's body fall to the ground. Goku would stare at Cooler as he began to approach.
What did I just see? He was able to wipe out the evil family in a matter of seconds. Can't believe the power of the legendary Super Saiyan.
Please, I'm begging you, spare my life. I promise you'll never see my face again. That's too late. I can't leave you alive, as you'll continue to enslave many more races, so I think it's time to end the problem at the root.
Goku would stretch out one of his hands, and with a powerful attack, he was able to pulverize Cooler completely. The instant the evil family was eradicated, several inhabitants came out of their hiding places, approaching Goku.
Sir, we thank you for being able to protect our planet. If you have any wishes, the Dragon Balls are for your disposal.
You have nothing to be grateful for. I've done the right thing, and for the wish, I want all the victims at the hands of Frieza's army to be revived.
No, damn insect. Let me ask for the eternal life. You don't need it, you have incredible power, but I long for immortality.
Goku would observe him with a very serious look, which made Vegeta enter into terror.
I don't know where you'll go, Vegeta, or if you wish to come with my brother and me to planet Earth.
I'll go with you, but as I'll be the only way in which I'll be able to become much more powerful.
The three Saiyan warriors were headed to the planet Earth. However, a much more powerful warrior was watching Son Goku. Just like on planet Earth, an incredible, extremely powerful warrior would make Goku know the defeat. Upon arriving on planet Earth, the trio of Saiyans had separated to continue with their great training. On the other hand, the Prince of the Saiyans was able to meet with Bulma, and this being a great scientist was able to create gravity capsules in which the great Vegeta was able to train to become much more powerful.
I'm the Prince of the Saiyans. Can't allow another Saiyan to be much more powerful than me.
On the other hand, Goku and Raditz both were training in the mountains, because on this occasion Goku wanted his brother's power to rise in a great way. However, on one of his training days, a gigantic power to be felt all over the planet Earth. A power that even on this occasion was able to make the Saiyan Goku nervous.
Whose is all this incredible power? I can't believe it! The power he's unleashing is amazing.
I feel like my whole body's crushed by the incredible power. Who is it?
But a very peculiar warrior stood in front of Goku. That's right, the speed with which he had arrived had left him very surprised, since even Goku wasn't able to notice.
Who are you? I can tell that you're a very powerful monster. It's not yet time for you to know about my identity, but I want to prove the great power that the incredible Goku is said to possess.
The mysterious warrior rushed against Goku, who exchanged multiple blows all over the place. However, it's been very difficult for Goku to keep up. His battle would not last more than 2 minutes. So at the moment, both would take a little distance, while on the warrior's face a big smile would be drawn.
With you, I'll really be able to use the Super Saiyan.
Super Saiyan? What the hell's that?
At the moment, the hair would turn a golden color, while on the whole planet Earth began to shudder due to all the incredible power that was released. Even Goku would be very surprised by all the incredible power that the warrior gave off. However, without Goku being able to see anything, the warrior was able to connect a powerful blow to Goku's stomach, which this time had caused incredible damage, while too much blood was coming out of Goku's body.
Yeah, what the hell is that transformation? The blow that has been able to connect me has caused me incredible damage, but I can't give up so easily.
Goku would stand up, while his power began to increase in an incredible way. That's right, Goku was pushing the power of his body to the limit, while the mysterious warrior stared at him.
The rumors were true. He really is very powerful, and if I'm able to warn him, everything will happen. I know he'll be able to do something, but I have to see the limit of his power.
Instantly, a huge extortion from the energy of Goku had been able to access his maximum power, with which even his eyes could be observed a bright red, just as his gaze had completely changed.
You're a very powerful warrior with whom I had no plans to hide any of my true power, so I hope you're prepared.
Goku moved at a great speed, however this time he was able to brush Trunks' cheek, but instantly his battle would be much more destructive. This time all the Z warriors had come to the place to know what was happening, being surprised by the great battle that both warriors were releasing.
Raditz, what the hell happened? Is he a new enemy?
I don't know, Vegeta, but the power he's able to release is amazing.
But instantly, a smile would be drawn on Vegeta's face, while his power would likewise begin to increase in an incredible way. That's right, this time Goku and Trunks had stopped their battle, realizing that in the same way, a great power would be felt all over the place. Everyone being surprised to realize how Vegeta had agreed to the same transformation as the warrior who was fighting with Goku.
Wow, Prince Vegeta's been able to acquire the same transformation as that guy.
Trunks would return to his base state, starting to explain that he came from the future, hiding his identity so that the timeline's not affected. That's right, this time the warriors were 2 years old, before facing extremely powerful warriors, which all the Z warriors would fall before their powers.
I hope to be able to come back in 2 years to be able to help in this battle.
Trunks would leave the place, while all the warriors were very surprised. However, the most shocked was Goku, since his power was overcome, although it wasn't by much the power that warrior had been able to almost defeat them.
Vegeta, I want to have a friendly combat with you. I want to check the new power you've been able to get.
This time I'll be able to beat you, you damn worm.
The eyes of both would cross, so at the moment both began to exchange blows. However, the difference in powers was overwhelming, since Goku was able to sweep the floor with Vegeta's body. That's right, although Vegeta had been able to access the Super Saiyan, he wasn't able to compare with Goku's power, which instantly, with a great attack of energy, was able to put him out of combat.
I have to use the Dragon Balls. Really, their transformations were similar, but why was Vegeta's power hundreds of times less?
all the warriors would spread out to continue with their training, but much more Vegeta, since he couldn't stand that despite taking his body to their limit, he hadn't been able to beat Kakarot. For his part, Goku, with the help of Raditz, they would begin to gather all the Dragon Balls. After a few hours, they'd been able to gather all of them.
Brother, one question. Why do you need the spheres? I need to know what is the power I possess, and why Vegeta's transformation was similar to that warrior's. He wasn't able to cope with me? I have lots of doubts.
Goku would summon the mighty Shenron, so instantly the whole sky would darken, realizing that they had summoned Shenron.
You have gathered the 7 Dragon Balls. Tell me, what is your wish? I can meet 3 of them.
What is the state I was born with? I like to have answers. And how can I become more powerful? Am I the legendary Super Saiyan?
Instantly, the other warriors would arrive at the place, realizing that Goku and Raditz had summoned Shenron.
First of all, you are not the legendary Super Saiyan, since the legendary Super Saiyan lives on a planet far away from this place, and his power is unlimited. Secondly, the state with which you were blessed is the Super Saiyan's Phase 4. You were only able to pass the other transformations. And finally, you can become more powerful if you continue with your training. Although, of course, increasing your power in that state would be much more complicated, since the Super Saiyan Phase 4 is your base state.
Everyone was surprised to learn that Goku was not the legendary Super Saiyan, he was only born with Super Saiyan Phase 4.
That means that I possess the Super Saiyan Stage 1, and if Kakarot's been able to be born with that transformation, I'm also able to access a similar state.
Vegeta would quickly leave to continue his great training. Meanwhile, Goku would remain very thoughtful.
In that case, I have to train much more, because if my power stays stagnant, I won't be able to overcome my limits. I'll train on my own from now on, Raditz.
You understand, brother? In that case, I'll leave to train with Gohan and Piccolo.
Goku would leave for the Sacred Temple. That's right, Goku had it planned to enter the Room of Time, in which the instant he arrived, he would expel the maximum of his power, with which even the same dimension would change noticeably.
I don't plan to stay behind. I know that I have the necessary ability to be able to overcome my limits once again.
Goku would start with his great training, which this time was to try to access a new transformation. So he would begin to concentrate all his energy while raising his power. However, it was very complicated for him. He was only able to get his muscles to grow in a great way.
I have an idea. The Saiyans were able to transform into Zarus, but what'll happen if I transform?
Goku, with a small sphere in one of his hands, was able to create a small artificial moon, with which he instantly transformed. His fur would change to a golden color, but this would begin to destroy everything around him. Not being able to control all that power, so they spent months in the Room of Time, in which, in all this time, Goku was able to master his state completely.
It's time! I'm already able to fully maintain reason, so no problem.
Goku exceeded his state of Ozaru, with which, at the moment of not having completely lost his mind, his golden fur and body began to shrink, which would leave Goku very surprised, since he had not happened before. While an amazing power was released all over the place, at the instant of an incredible scream by Goku, this would create a great explosion, as it was possible to observe a Goku with a similar appearance, but this time, the color of his fur was golden, while his power was capable of disintegrating any warrior not on the same scale of his power.
Wow! The power I've been able to get is amazing, but I have to be able to completely master it, because otherwise, I'll even hurt my friends.
Goku began to master his new power. That's right, Goku in his base state, which was the Super Saiyan 4, was able to access the Super Saiyan. For that reason, the fur was golden. On the other hand, in a very secluded place, a scientist known as Dr. Gero was able to create 2 powerful androids, which possessed the cells of all the warriors, even of Goku Phase 4. However, these androids, despite being very powerful warriors, were only part of the real danger. That's right, a warrior named Cell, which he possessed in his body, the cells of all the most powerful warriors in the universe, was being formed.
With all the cell phones of the warriors, the power of Cell will be incredible. Nothing and no one will be able to stop him, not even those annoying Saiyans.
Returning to the Room of Time, Goku had been able to master all his power completely, so Goku would leave the room while his power was able to alert all the Z warriors. However, a spy robot was able to steal a tiny hair from Son Goku's new state, being able that the power was incubating the powerful Cell. and it was able to hold all that incredible power. That's right, on this occasion, with that small sample of energy, Cell was able to develop completely, being able to generate a big explosion all over the place, while his power would likewise draw attention of all the warriors. Realizing that 2 years had already passed, I had completely forgotten. It's been 2 years already, so those androids will appear on an island in the west, destroying everything around. But there's no destroyed island, or is there anything that guy was so pure nonsense? For his part, Dr. Gero was surprised to realize how his greatest creation had been able to evolve quickly with the help of that last sample.
Cell, absorb the android so that you'll be able to achieve your perfect form.
As you order. Although I thank you for being able to create me, I don't like being ordered by beings weaker than me.
Cell, with a beam of energy, was able to end the life of its creator, while approaching the androids, and without allowing any of them to move, was able to absorb them completely. On this occasion, the power that was released was amazing, so much so that even it overshadowed the power of Goku. Apparently that warrior was said to be true. It had turned out to be more than where all the incredible power was released. Meanwhile, in a very distant place, in the same way, a warrior as powerful as Cell or much more was watching everything.
Keep getting much more powerful, because very soon I'll end your very existence, Son Goku, or you'll be part of all my power.
Returning to planet Earth, the warriors were able to get in front of Cell, being surprised by the power that this new enemy was releasing. However, confident, Vegeta would take a step forward.
I'll show you that this warrior's a simple joke on this side of me.
Vegeta would access Super Saiyan 2, while Cell would observe it with a big smile.
You don't have the power to stand up to me, Vegeta, so you better get out, damn worm.
A furious Vegeta would rush against Cell, however his blows were not able to cause any damage to Cell, with which a few blows were able to leave the Prince of the Saiyans lying on the ground with few wounds.
I want to fight Son Goku, because I was created to end his life.
Goku, the instant he took a step, would realize that Vegeta would get back on his feet.
I haven't been defeated yet. Now I'll show you the fruit of my training has had, so I hope you're ready to observe the power of the great Vegeta.
Vegeta would immediately begin to expel a large amount of energy, which left everyone surprised. That's right, Vegeta had been able to achieve 3 new transformations, and this time he would use one of the most powerful transformations, the incredible Super Saiyan 3. The incredible power of Vegeta had been enough to make the whole planet Earth rumble, since the Prince of the Saiyans had been able to break every one of its limits, and despite this, he still hid a transformation more.
What do you think about my new power? With this power, you won't be able to do anything against me, since you're just a fucking experiment.
You make me so sorry, Vegeta, because really, even if you've had that incredible power increase, you'll not be able to do anything to save your life.
The look of Cell showed a great confidence. Instantly, both launched to start with the great battle. This time, their fists were powerful enough to cause havoc throughout the universe. That's right, the power that both subjects possessed, they were even capable of causing destruction by nearby planets. However, Goku was able to observe the battle intently.
If that is Vegeta's maximum power, he'll lose immediately, since his opponent only is cornering him with his incredible defense. No, but my father possesses incredible power. It seems that he's even able to beat Cell, since he's not able to counterattack. No, Trunks, look carefully. You can tell no matter how much Vegeta attacks, Cell's able to block every blow. While Vegeta more attacks, his energy begins to decrease, unlike Cell's power, which hasn't decreased in the slightest.
The battle was so intense that only Goku was able to observe what was really happening. Those wrecks were even able to attract the attention of an angel that was far away from the whole planet Earth. That's right, this was Whis, which thanks to his staff was able to observe the entire incredible battle. Wow, so the Saiyans of the planet Vegeta have evolved in an incredible way, since the power they are able to release is incredible. I would dare say that they would be excellent toys for Mr. Beerus in the future. Returning to the battlefield, Cell would instantly expel a little more of his incredible power, forcing Vegeta to retreat a few meters. So at the moment, Cell would start laughing because a few beads of drops of blood were falling from Vegeta's lip.
Apparently it doesn't matter what power you've been able to get. You're nothing besides me. Let me tell you, this is not even 50% of all my power.
No, I don't believe you at all. You're just bragging.
Furious, Vegeta would pounce against Cell again. However, on this occasion, Cell was able to connect some excellent blows to Vegeta, which caused incredible damage. Each blow was awarded strategically since Vegeta's energy flow began to be affected. Cell, instantly, with a powerful hammer blow, was able to send him to the base of the planet again, generating a powerful destruction in his path.
I've already said it. I want to fight with Son Goku, since no one else will be able to make me do anything against me.
Goku, at the moment of being about to climb on the platform, an incredible roar was able to make everyone present retreat, while a great Azaru would be formed all over the battlefield. That's right, the Prince of the Saiyans had been able to achieve the iconic transformation of Super Saiyan Phase 4, which was, at that moment of being in transition, it would be powerful enough to make everything around him shudder. A great light that would rise all over the battlefield, Vegeta would be observed in his new transformation.
Damn worm, you've been able to force me to use 100% of all my power. I was saving that transformation for when it was my turn to fight with Kakarot.
Wow, Vegeta's been able to achieve the transformation that I'd been able to be born with. Vegeta's an admirable warrior.
No matter how much power you boast, you won't be able to do anything in.
Cell wasn't able to finish his sentence since Vegeta's fist was in his stomach. That's right, on this occasion, Cell wasn't able to observe anything. Cell had been able to fly to a few mountains, generating surprising damage. Cell, at the moment of standing up, large amounts of blood were spreading over the battlefield.
Well, what I'm seeing may be the perfect warrior's bleeding. I thought that a stupid creation like you had no blood. You're well done.
Dumb monkey.
At this very moment, I'm planning to crush you with my maximum power.
Cell, at that precise moment, he would release 100% of his power, as the occasion warranted, because Vegeta's power in Super Saiyan 4 had exploded in a surprising way, while Goku would begin to observe much more relaxed.
Cell's power is amazing, but Vegeta's able to master 100% of his power. He'll be able to beat Cell. Even if it doesn't succeed, Cell's not my opponent. I thought his power was much bigger because the extortion before left me surprised.
Both launched into an attack, so on this occasion, both left aside the defense, since each of them awarded each other blows, which were capable of destroying the planet Earth. But when Goku was in the place, he was able to create a great barrier, so that the planet is not affected in the slightest, while on the other hand, the blows of both were capable of destroying several of his bones. But Vegeta was starting to have the advantage, so with a great kick, he was able to send it flying, destroying mountains around.
I have to congratulate you. You're able to force me to use 100% of all my power. But on this occasion, I plan to end your miserable existence.
Cell was on the ground trying to recover from that incredible blow. Vegeta, for his part, would begin to charge an incredible attack, with which he'd planned to eradicate Cell completely. Vegeta would instantly throw his attack.
I don't plan to die without doing anything. This is my most powerful attack anyway.
Cell would throw his incredible attack. Both attacks would begin to collide in an incredible way. But on Vegeta's face, a big smile would appear. So he would instantly take his body to the limit, expelling much more power, managing to completely disintegrate Cell.
The damn green cockroach wasn't able to do anything against me.
That's right, Father. My father is able to beat Cell. This time, with the power I possess, I'll be able to beat the androids of my time.
After a few days, Trunks would also return to the future, of which he belonged, while in the current timeline several years had passed in which no danger had occurred for the Z Warriors, since on this occasion even Majin Buu had not been a rival for the Warriors, since Goku was able to defeat him with incredible ease. But in a place very far away from all the 12 universes, the warrior who had been able to observe Goku for several years was...
It's time to absorb old Goku and his other companions of great powers.
That warrior would begin to move through all the 12 universes at a great speed, but at the moment to enter Universe 7 he would stop quickly, realizing that the God of Destruction along with his angel were heading the same way to the planet Earth.
Damn it! At the least appropriate movement, the Beerus bastard had woken up, and I'm sure he's heading to planet Earth to have a worthy battle.
Returning to planet Earth, they were celebrating Bulma's birthday. All the warriors were present. However, at the moment, the North Kai was able to communicate with Goku and Vegeta telepathically.
Goku, Vegeta, the god of destruction Beerus is heading towards your planet at a great speed. By all means, make him angry, because no matter the power you possess, it'll not be enough to defeat Beerus. Beerus? I feel like I've heard that name somewhere else. But it doesn't matter who it is, since we're the most powerful Saiyans.
Don't worry. Although if he calls himself the god of destruction, I hope he'll be powerful, since Majin Buu, he was not able to give me a worthy battle. I've had years that I don't have that feeling of being cornered.
No, you guys don't understand what you're saying. Beerus' power's on another level.
But instantly, both deities had arrived at Bulma's house, for which Vegeta, upon observing him, would remember how that subject was capable of humiliating his father.
But you are. Apparently you still remember me. But it's surprising that you're able to remember me since I humiliated your father when you were a child.
Wow, Vegeta, I can tell you already know this guy. What's wrong with you? Your look looks like you've seen the same demon.
No, Kakarot. Now I understand why the Kai was terrified. The power of this warrior is incredible. We're not able to do anything against him.
Vegeta, I think you're exaggerating everything, since he doesn't even seem to be powerful. He's all skinny, he doesn't even have muscles.
What is it that you've told me? If you have the courage to repeat it, and believe me, that I'll not leave the bones of you, since I'm capable of pulverizing you.
Sorry if I offended you, but better, why don't you just tell us that you bring him here?
Apparently, even if you don't know about my existence, you know what your place is. I'll tell you, Whis, my angel, has informed me that you're able to defeat Frieza. You're even blessed with incredible power since your birth.
You're correct. I was able to beat Frieza, and I was born with the power of Super Saiyan 4, so my power's birth is gigantic.
I understand, but by chance, don't you know the Super Saiyan God?
Super Saiyan God? No, I've never heard of that transformation.
In that case, I want to have a battle with you. And if you're able to force me to use 25% of all my power, I promise not to destroy this planet.
Only 25% of all the power? You're really underestimating me.
Goku would get in a battle pose, but despite having his guard up, the god Beerus was able to give him millions of blows, which would begin to cause incredible damage. So much so that in a few seconds, Goku had fallen to the ground very badly injured.
Yeah, what the hell? Even though I'm on my guard, I wasn't able to see anything. The power of that guy's amazing, but I have much more power.
Goku would stand up while his body expelled too much blood.
The damage you caused me was incredible, but what do you think about this?
Goku would begin to expel all his power, with which on this occasion, he'd been able to access the Super Golden Saiyan. The eyes of both would cross, so the incredible battle had begun. All the warriors of the party would realize that a great battle was taking place, and it was not a training.
Vegeta, do you even know what's going on?
Believe me, Bulma, I don't even know what'll happen. But better quickly gather the Dragon Balls. We'll have to know about the Super Saiyan God.
But that was the prize for the winner of my birthday.
Believe me, if we don't, no matter who the winner is on your birthday, we'll all die here. And I'm sure Kakarot won't be able to beat him.
Returned to the battle, Goku, despite using all his power, was not able to keep up with Beerus, who at the moment of the battle will increase his power, but only he would release it to 16% of all his power, with which he would begin to completely humiliate Goku. That's right, this time Goku wasn't even able to observe all the blows that came from Beerus, so he would hold him by the neck.
For a mere mortal, you surely possess incredible power, but you aren't able to force me to use the percentage I've told you.
Beerus, with a slight blow, was able to send him to the planet with a big blow. Goku had lost his transformation, while his body was in terrible condition.
God damn it! I haven't been able to make any scratches on him, so that's the power of the god of destruction.
As I said, if you're not able to force me to use 25% of my power, I'll destroy the entire planet Earth.
God Beerus would begin to channel a little of his gigantic power to destroy the planet. However, at the moment, the whole sky would darken.
One moment, Mr. Beerus. At this moment, we're able to bring the Super Saiyan God. Just give us a little time. If that's caught my attention, I'll grant you a little time.
At the moment of being summoned Shenron, he was also surprised to realize the presence of the god of destruction Beerus. So he'd begin to explain how to invoke the Super Saiyan God, since the warrior as such had disappeared millions of years ago. That means that in order to summon the Super Saiyan God, they require 5 Saiyans to grant the power to another Saiyan.
It's time to do it. Gohan's wife's pregnant, so this can work.
All the warriors would hold hands, so they started with the great ritual of the Super Saiyan God. Being Goku the chosen one, that's right, at the moment, the power of the 5 would begin to flow through his body, with which his power would begin to grow in a surprising way, to the point of disappearing from the perception of mortals, since Goku had been able to access the state of the Super Saiyan God.
That's the power of a god. So after all, it's been worth the wait.
Indeed, Mr. Beerus, that is the power of a Saiyan God. Goku would expel all his power in his new state, leaving everyone surprised by the incredible presence he had, since his fur was of a silver color, while an incredible pressure was felt by everything around him. The Saiyan God state has been a complete madness because the essence he was releasing would surprise all the deities present. So instantly, even Beerus was forced to use 28% of all his power, which had already exceeded his limit.
I can't believe much power I've been able to reach that mortal. He has even been able to force me to use much more power, and without having to fight.
Wow, the power that runs through my body is amazing. So for this very reason, the gods possess absurd amounts of power. I feel that I'm able to beat anyone.
Apparently, he's shocked by the state of a god. But you better get ready, because right now I'll test your power.
Mr. Beerus, don't get complacent, as apparently the power of that Saiyan has risen in a surprising way. So much so that at the moment he's able to defeat it.
Don't say stupid things, Whis. It's true that it's been able to get an amazing power, but remember that I'm the most powerful god among the 12. I can't lose with a mortal.
Beerus, as a flash, had rushed against Goku, but to everyone's surprise, Goku was able to dodge him, staring at Beerus.
So with this move, you'll be able to hit me a few moments ago. How interesting. At this moment, I was able to see everything completely.
Goku, with a slight blow to the chest of Beerus, was able to cause incredible damage, so much that it would make him fall to the ground, vomiting large amounts of blood all over the floor.
What the hell? The hit he was able to give me was incredible. The power and precision are out of this world.
Beerus would stand up, but his internal energy would become very out of control.
No, damn. I have to control my internal energy because otherwise...
Beerus was able to release a large amount of destructive energy, though all of his energy veins, so at the moment, it was enough to control the energy flow again, because Goku's fist had been able to inject his Saiyan God energy.
I can tell that you have great control in the new techniques of the gods, but I want to see if you could do this against the true power of a god.
Beerus would begin to channel much more power, with which he was able to even make Goku retreat a few meters. So at the moment, Beerus, at a great speed, rushed again against Goku. However, Goku this time was able to block his blow, so both began to exchange thousands of blows all around. The battle of both would intensify to such an extent that they began to fight in the same way all over Universe 7, destroying inhospitable planets. The destruction they caused in the other universes will be evident. I have to create a barrier so that does not spread to universes 6 and 8. Whis, with the help of his staff, was able to create a great barrier throughout Universe 7, so that intense battle continues with the same rhythm. Beerus, moment, was able to connect an incredible blow on Goku's chin, sending him to a planet, destroying everything around him. Now Beerus, being about to say something, Goku with incredible speed was able to hit back, sending him the same way to a planet, but the planet on this occasion would be completely destroyed.
The blow you gave me was amazing, but I don't plan to give up, so right now I plan to end this battle.
Goku would expel much more power, with which, in all his great aura, a great Ozaru would be formed. And that's right, Goku's power had been so great that an incredible Ozaru would be formed throughout the Universe 7.
This is the power of all my friends, and my own power. I'm not allowed to lose.
Ugh, that blow hurt me too much. But I don't plan to lose because I'm the most powerful god among all the gods. I'll show you all my power.
Beerus would instantly begin to expel his true power, which left Whis surprised. Mr. Beerus is planning to use his transformation for the first time. Even none of the gods know the transformation of Mr. Beerus, and he'll use it with Immortal. The power of Beerus would begin to rise in an unreal way, so much so that it would cause the entire Universe 7 to begin to tremble, because the power of Beerus was too great. At the pace of a great explosion of destructive energy, it was possible to observe Beerus in his new form, from which he radiated destructive energy.
I apologize for the delay. I'm just not used to using 100% of all my power. But are you ready?
Goku at this moment was unable to dodge the blow that Beerus was able to give him all over his face. The blow contained an incredible power that the planet in his path had been completely destroyed. Goku would be able to recover in one of the rubble, spitting out too much blood, while his energy veins seemed to explode.
I'm not able to fight with this power anymore. I feel like my whole body's starting to tear. This must be the price for using the power of a god.
What's happened? Is that all the Saiyan God can offer?
You're completely wrong. I'm still capable of beating you up.
The gaze of both warriors crossed. Launching into the attack, their battle was much more destructive. So Whis instantly would create a barrier for all the warriors of planet Earth who were affected by the simple pressure of the battle of both warriors, because the power of both was capable of ending their lives.
I can't believe the power Kakarot's been able to achieve. I likewise also want to achieve the power of the gods.
This is a nightmare. I'm sure that guy must have already used much more than 25% of all his power, so the battle must be over by now.
I agree with you, madame, but apparently neither of the two wishes to give up, so the battle will only be decided when one of the two falls.
I don't know who'll be the first to fall, because from Kakarot's expression, his body's about to collapse, but I don't know the limit of Mr. Beerus.
Like the warrior named Mr. Goku, Mr. Beerus is at the limit, since no one has ever forced him to use 100% of his combat form.
Damn it. I have to end this battle once and for all, because otherwise this wretch will be able to beat me.
In the next blow, I'll use all my power. If I miss, it'll be my defeat. But the planet Earth is already free of danger, since I have forced him to use much more power.
Instantly, both launched themselves with their maximum speeds, granting themselves an incredible blow. At that moment, both fell toward the planet on the verge of death. Since the last blow that both contained their maximum power, for this part Susano, who was watching everything that happened, was surprised since Son Goku's power had exceeded all his expectations.
I'll have to do it right now, since my power is much greater than that of an ordinary angel. Only Daishenkin's able to defeat me, but if I am able to absorb both warriors, I'm sure that my power will grow in an incredible way.
Whis would begin to heal Beerus, but with a great movement, he was able to dodge a kick that, if connected with him, would have knocked him out of combat, while instantly a surprising pressure would fall all over the planet Earth.
Damn, this is the worst moment a new enemy has appeared, but luckily I have one of the seeds that recover all the energies.
Vegeta was able to throw one of the seeds towards Goku, who, despite being on the verge of death, was able to eat one, healing all his wounds completely, as well as obtaining an incredible power increase, prostrating himself in front of that warrior.
Who the hell are you? Why are you trying to attack us when we're not able to defend ourselves? You're a coward.
It's a pity. I just wanted to not go through the suffering of the beating I'll give you, because if you're at 100% of your power, I'll have to beat him up to absorb you.
Did you say absorb me? You think I'll get sucked in so easily? Don't be deluded, because if you want to end my life, you'll have to be prepared to die too.
But without Goku being able to notice, the warrior with a seed and strength much more overwhelming than that of Beerus was able to hold him by the neck, completely neutralizing him to the ground.
You don't have the power required to do anything against me, so you better be prepared to form for my power.
But at that precise moment, Beerus in his combat form would throw an incredible blow at him. But the guy with his other hand was able to stop that incredible blow.
It will be better to wait your turn, since you will be part of my power, and not even your angel will be able to avoid it.
Susano with a few blows was able to send Goku flying to another planet, making him destroy mountains in his path, while he would begin to approach Beerus.
Who the hell are you? I could tell that you're not an ordinary person, but I'm not gonna form to your power. First, you have to end my life.
Beerus would throw himself against that warrior, but this time, despite the fact that Beerus' power was completely restored, he hadn't been able to do anything against him. Since his enemy was able to knock each of his blows, his powers were as distant as heaven and earth. Susano at the moment was able to summon an energy giant, which pounced against Beerus, and being a few centimeters away, several rays were able to trap his body completely. So at the moment, the giant would create a huge explosion, but before he's able to catch Beerus, Goku was able to hold him with his great speed, falling to the side of that gigantic explosion.
Mr. Beerus, are you alright?
But Goku would start vomiting huge amounts of blood all over the place.
Damn, Bug. You didn't have to do something so risky. He's almost able to finish both of us, but I appreciate it. Although I don't know how the hell we'll be able to defeat him.
At the moment, among the flames of that great explosion, Susano would be getting to approach both warriors. While on his back, this same hell was able to represent itself, or rather, the soul of thousands of warriors who were part of his power.
This'll be your new home, so you better get started getting acquainted.
No, damn, I don't plan to be part of your power. I'll lend your damn existence first.
Goku would pounce against the warrior, followed by Beerus. Despite being the two most powerful warriors of Universe 7, Beerus, the strongest god among the 12 gods, they were not able to face that imposing warrior, which would only take one of his arms to be able to completely neutralize him. So then, he would stop playing, taking both of them by the neck and crashing them against the mountains and rocks that were around them for a few moments. He would throw them, destroying everything around.
It is time. You're not even able to move anymore. At this moment, you will pass to form for all of my power.
Ah, damn it! Even the lost status of a Saiyan God, this will be our end.
Hell, I never thought that I'd be defeated by a warrior who doesn't even exercise the title of a god. You're a random being.
At the moment, a large portal would form in front of them, with which their powers began to be drained. But at that instant, their last hope would appear on the battlefield. That's right, Whis was able to manage to give an incredible blow on his face, sending him flying. It's time to fight. I have to be able to end this warrior's life.
But Whis, you being an angel can't meddle in the affairs of the gods.
This is a special case since I have been able to realize that the subject in front of us is about Susano, one of the first celestial beings, but having ambitions of wanting to overthrow the king of the whole Zeno-sama. They were considered fallen celestials.
Well, apparently you know something about my origin. But that won't save you from ending your pathetic life here now. So get ready, damn insect.
You better not get complacent, as the divine realm has changed since 5 million years ago, and at the moment you are not untouchable. At the moment, an angel and a fallen celestial began to exchange millions of blows all over the battlefield. However, inside Goku, the power of the Super Saiyan God had been able to merge with Son Goku completely. So at the moment, a new power was beginning to awaken in his body. Since, being a prodigy, he was able to perform feats that no other warrior was able to achieve.
Ah, I feel like my body's burning. I even feel like my blood is pumping much faster. My heart feels like it's gonna explode.
That's right, the internal system of Goku would begin to emanate a new power. On the other hand, the battle of both seemed to be very evenly matched. However, Susano would begin to increase his power, while Whis was already using 100% of all of his power. So in the course of the battle, Susano would begin to take the advantage. Susano, with a great blow, was able to send Whis flying, falling to the planet very badly injured. Hell, I thought after millions of years I'd be able to do something against him. Susano would begin to approach Whis with the intention of ending his life. But in all that place, a gigantic power had been perceived, even being so much that on this occasion the barrier that Whis had placed had been completely destroyed, being perceived his power by all the gods and beings of the Divine Kingdom.
Wow, whose incredible power is that?
Goku's power would continue to grow in an incredible way, destroying everything in its path. "70 million years ago, there was an unimaginable void without any life, when suddenly emerged a being which didn't know it was himself where he was.
What's going on? What am I? I can't see anything. What is this immense void?
What he didn't know was, until that moment, was that he was an omnipotent being who was going to create everything known as the universe. He would even create a whole multiverse full of different types of life in order to find at some point an individual who could match or surpass the strength of his son called Zeno-sama. In Zeno-sama's palace, 30 million years after the birth of Zeno-sama's father, he introduces himself to his son.
Zeno-sama, my son, you've grown strong and apparently you've become very powerful over the centuries.
Father, I've always felt that my existence has no purpose. I often get bored. Why did you bring me to life to be bored?
70 million years ago, there was a void from which I was created. As I grew, I developed powers and immeasurable strength. As a result of that, a need was born in me to find a being who could match or surpass your strength, to even equal my own greatness. That's why I created planets, galaxies, universes, and living beings of various species.
All this was created just so that I could exist?
Yes, my son. Every star, every life form, everything has a purpose. To prepare you to be the supreme god of all that I've created. You're the main reason for all my creation.
It's a heavy burden, Father. Why me?
Because in you, I see the true potential to rule in this vast cosmos. You are the hope to maintain harmony among the creations that have sprung from my being. You are the missing piece in this cosmic chest.
Father, all this that you tell me is an enormous responsibility. I don't know if I'm ready to be able to do it. What if I fail?
There is no failure, son. Your very existence is success. Every moment in your life has molded you into the supreme being that you are. I trust you will fulfill your destiny.
What about you, Father? What role do you play in all this?
My role is to guide you from the shadows, to watch you fulfill your purpose. Finding balance in the universe is a task that requires your leadership. I'll be here, in the darkness, watching you carry out the mission I have given you.
I understand, Father. Leave everything in my hands.
Thus passed centuries, millennia, in which Zeno-sama was guided by his father to govern the immense multiverse he had created for him, but now convinced of the purpose he had in his life. In the present time, 30 million years after the conversation that Zeno-sama and his father had, in one of the universes created by Father Zeno, on a planet called Earth, Kakarot and Vegeta were training together with Whis and Beerus after having faced very powerful beings. While they were training, the Earth was illuminated by flashes of energy. As Kakarot and Vegeta embark on intense training, Whis and Beerus watch from a distance, assessing the Saiyans' every move as they prepare to rise in their skills.
Hey, Vegeta! Remember when we first faced Frieza? That guy was incredibly strong.
Yes, Kakarot. It was our first encounter with an enemy of another level, but we cannot forget the cell bug, that creature with cells from all of us. He put us in big trouble with his martial arts tournament. Luckily, your son became strong.
Both Saiyans exchanged energy blasts. Each hit and dodge was an echo of their long history of battles.
Ah, yes! The first time he showed the teleportation technique. That was amazing! Thanks to Gohan, we were able to defeat him.
But then came Majin Buu. That battle was unforgettable. We had to merge to have a chance.
The fusion was great, but we also learned about redemption and kindness at that time. Buu became good because of you.
As they continue their training, the energy of both Saiyans light up the space. Whis and Beerus watch with interest.
Yes, but don't forget about Beerus, that god of destruction who almost wiped out the Earth with a single sneeze. Although in the end, he turned out to be more of a joker than we thought.
Yes, I remember when I tried to fight him in my Super Saiyan 3 form. I wasn't at his level, but at least I gave him a fight in my Super Saiyan God form, and that was possible thanks to all of you.
That's right, and now we're here, training with Whis and Beerus. We cannot let our guard down, Kakarot. There'll always be bigger challenges.
Exactly! Every fight makes us stronger. Let's keep training and bettering ourselves.
Of course. We're always one step closer to being the strongest warriors in the universe.
The training continues as Kakarot and Vegeta, under the tutelage of Whis and Beerus, strive to reach new levels of power in order to defend the Earth from new and more powerful enemies that may appear with the desire to destroy the planet that welcomed them. While Kakarot and Vegeta were training to overcome their limits, Whis and Beerus encouraged them to keep improving.
Very good, Saiyans. Keep it up.
Yes, they're very strong, but I don't know if that'll be enough to keep my interest.
Suddenly, they feel a dark presence and the whole environment begins to become dark. And a dark, powerful presence fills the place. What's going on, Mr. Whis? Something's not right. I feel an extremely powerful and dark presence.
That feeling sounds familiar. Who could it be?
The darkness intensifies and suddenly an opposing figure appears in front of them like a shadowy nebula.
Inhabitants of the multiverse, have you missed me? Hello, dear inhabitants of the multiverse. I've come to observe progress of my creations.
What? Who is this guy?
I don't know, Kakarot, but his presence is overwhelming.
No way.
What?
The figure lingers in a shadowy haze, with the speaker being the father of Zeno-sama, the omnipotent being who created the multiverse. This one appears in all multiverse, where all the warriors were training for future problems.
This guy is the father of Zeno-sama, the creator of everything we know of universes beyond our imagination. I didn't think we'd ever see him.
Sir, your arrival is unexpected. Forgive the insolence, but to what do we owe you presents? The inclination of Whis and all the angels of different universes is because they have knowledge of who was the father of Zeno-sama. For that reason, they have a great fear and respect for him.
I see you've been busy, warriors. You have faced great obstacles throughout your insignificant lives, but this time has come. Are you strong enough?
We're always up for a good challenge.
Shut up, Kakarot. Don't you feel how powerful he is? How can you say that? Haven't you noticed something missing in the multiverse?
At that moment, Zeno-sama's father set out to tell them the reason for the ambiguous question. Moments before Zeno's father appeared before the whole multiverse, he was very angry because when he woke up from the dream of millions of years, he was surprised that many things had happened that went against the main reason why he created the whole universe. Because of this, he appears before his son Zeno-sama. In the center of the realm of everything, the overwhelming presence of Zeno-sama's father eclipses space. His voice booms like thunder as he directs his fury towards his son Zeno-sama. The latter, visibly nervous, tries to defend himself as the tension between the two intensifies.
Zeno-sama, you failed in your duty as Supreme God. All the warriors of the multiverse have overstepped their bounds and now dare to call themselves gods. Gods? This is unacceptable!
Father, I understand that this is all being misunderstood, but...
There's no excuses, Zeno-sama. Your lack of authority has allowed inferior beings to rise above us. How dare you let them usurp the title of gods?
I'm sorry, Father. I did not intend for things to come to this point. The anger in Father Zeno's voice increases. His tone becomes more defiant and contemptuous.
Your intention? Your weakness has sullied the name of our divinity. The only god here is me, and no one else should dare to call himself that. No one!
Father, I understand that I'm in your debt, but we can find another way to restore order.
Father Zeno's response is an explosion of contempt and fury.
You do not deserve the title of god at all. Your weakness has tainted my creation. Because of your incompetence, I must restore the balance, even if it means getting rid of you.
What? Father, please don't do it! There's so much I can still learn and improve! I can fix all of this!
Zeno-sama's imploration is lost in Father Zeno's cold determination.
It is already too late, Zeno. Weakness must be eradicated from existence for true power to prevail.
In an instant, Zeno-sama's father unleashes a blast of devastating energy that engulfs Zeno-sama and begins to tear him to shreds as he screams in pain.
No, Father, please! Ah!
Order has been restored. No one else will dare to challenge my supremacy. I will now take it upon myself to reestablish balance through my creation.
In the present day, in front of the terrified warriors, due to what Zeno-sama's father had informed them what had happened to his son Zeno-sama, a being they all adored and feared.
You insignificant beings now understand. Because of this, I will destroy all the timelines and universes that exist. I am a divine being, omnipotent, and I can do it. But
I'll give you a chance to fight for your lives. So I'll organize a tournament in which the strongest warriors of the entire multiverse will participate so that the power will prevail. Earth 2024.
What? This can't be true. Do you think we can face something like that, Mr. Piccolo?
Oh? We'll have to train a lot physically and, above all, mentally.
The idea of a tournament piques his interest, seeing the opportunity to test his own power and perhaps become even stronger. Thraxis Nocturne, planet sunk in the shadows.
A tournament, eh? Well, I'll show that true power is not limited to divine beings.
I won't let them destroy our future. I will fight in that tournament and protect my own.
A tournament with the strongest warriors, huh? It'll be my chance to show that the Saiyans are not insignificant beings. We will see who is truly divine in this tournament. My empire will prevail.
A competition between the strongest. Interesting. I was showed that the Metacoolers are superior in all universes.
Nigerian, a world with perpetually cloudy skies where storms of dark energy lash the surface.
Father, this tournament will be the perfect occasion to show you that my power surpasses yours. Perfect. I'll show my true power and wreak havoc in every corner of the multiverse. Destruction in a tournament. What a magnificent combination. I will be the ultimate warrior and subdue all under my rule. Let's fight. This tournament will be my stage to demonstrate the power I've obtained.
Dracoria, homeworld of the humanoid dragon warriors and the descendants.
The threat of destruction is overwhelming. My fire may not be enough to face its dark omnipotence.
A shadow that threatens to destroy everything. My ability to manipulate the darkness may not be enough. Even with my swordsmanship, facing an omnipotent divine being will be an unparalleled challenge. This divine being has the power to destroy everything I love. My fire will be my defense.
A divine threat. My control over thunderstorms will be enough. This will be a challenge like never before.
After seeing the various emotions and thoughts of the main participants of the tournament, Zeno-sama's father begins to explain the rules of this supposed tournament.
Minimal beings. The rules are simple. The tournament will be to the death. It'll be held in a timeless space where the laws of time and physics are temporarily suspended. The only way to eliminate an opponent is to make his heart stop. It is by killing him. There's no other way. In this tournament, it is either you or your rival. There's no limits on the use of skills. You must unleash your full potential without restriction, so as not to be destroyed in the process. I'll be the one who will watch over the whole process. The participant who wins will have the joy of facing me, putting his life and the life of his universe at stake. But I'm a PS deity, and I will bring him the opportunity to have a divine power similar to mine for a determined time. If he does not take the advantage of it, he will have to accept the consequences.
In spite of the uncertainty that the warriors have in front of what the father of Zeno-sama has said, some are excited and others are worried.
Wow, this sounds exciting! A tournament with fighters from all universes. It's gonna be great!
Why should we trust this tournament to be fair? By killing them?
So I can fight to the best of my ability. But killing beings that are just fighting for their lives is not nice.
I hope everything I've said has been clear to everyone. The only rule is that you have to kill your opponent so that they don't kill you. I want to make that clear. You will have to kill your opponent. The way we will check if you're worthy of calling yourselves gods.
Father Zeno disappears and everything returns to normal. You can see Kakarot's excited about the new enemy that is seen. It is very powerful. Vegeta, scared and worried about his family, angry with Kakarot.
Wow, that guy's incredibly strong. I'm excited to fight him in the next tournament.
Excited? Do you realize what's at stake, Kakarot? The enemy is dangerous, and we can't just underestimate him.
But Vegeta, that guy has awesome power. It's gonna be the best fight of our lives.
This is not a game, Kakarot. Do you realize that we're putting our families and the entire universe at risk?
I know it's serious, Vegeta, but it's also a chance to get better. Besides, Zeno-sama's father is excited about this.
I can't believe you're so carefree. My family's in danger and you're excited about a fight.
I'm not saying I'm not serious, Vegeta, but when an opportunity presents itself to measure our power, I can't resist.
You always think about the fight, don't you? Sometimes I wish you had a little more responsibility.
Vegeta, I understand that you're worried about Bulma and Trunks, but trust that we can protect them.
I don't like the idea of someone else deciding about our lives.
I understand, Vegeta, but do you really think we can ignore this opportunity?
I'm not going to lose my family over a fight, but I also know that I can't stop you from getting excited about the battle.
At that moment, the tension between Kakarot and Vegeta is palpable as they prepare to face the new enemy. While Kakarot is filled with excitement for the fight, Vegeta faces the situation with a mixture of fear and determination. Thus, the training of the entire multiverse for their survival of their species began. From the moment on, the most powerful warriors of all the universes began to train with greater intensity in order to save their universes and timelines. After having communicated with the entire multiverse from the realm of everything, the father of Zeno-sama would observe everything from a crystal screen, that the warriors were getting stronger and stronger. He sent his shadow warriors to slow down the process of them.
What is this feeling that stirs my supreme being? A mixture of fascination and disdain. It's inevitable that mortals yearn for more, that they aspire to surpass their boundaries. Yet some of these warriors are reaching levels I cannot allow. Their power threatens the balance I've established. It's enough that they're mere participants in my tournament. They must be contained. They must be eliminated before their ascensions endanger the stability of my creation. My shadow warriors, creatures of the shadow and executioners of my will travel throughout all the universes. They'll be my instruments to stop these reckless advances. I will not allow the power of these warriors to grow beyond the limits set by my divinity.
Father Zeno, we're here to receive your orders.
Shadow creatures, my loyal enforcers, the time has come. The universes pulsate with an energy that threatens to destabilize the order I've established. Mortal warriors, in their relentless pursuit of power, are rising to dangerous heights. Their progress must be halted.
Your orders are our will. How do you wish us to proceed?
Each of you will disperse among the universes. Your mission is to find those warriors who dare to exceed the limits imposed. There's no room for compassion. The threat must be eradicated. Annihilate them without mercy.
We will, Father Zeno. No warrior would be strong enough to defy your will.
The shadow creatures set off to every universe and timeline to destroy every warrior who would participate. Along the way, they encountered weak warriors who they destroyed with these strong and very powerful ones. It was dusk when suddenly the Earth's atmosphere trembled with an unnatural darkness. In the blink of an eye, shadow creatures emerged from the interdimensional shadows, ethereal and menacing beings that would challenge even the strength of the mightiest warriors. Kakarot and Vegeta, training on the vast battlefield of Earth, sensed the arrival of an ominous presence. Shadow creatures, their ethereal forms and eyes burning with the intensity of darkness, materialized before them.
What are you? We are servants of Father Zeno. Your progress has been noted and must be halted. The will of Father Zeno is the supreme law. The warriors have exceeded the allowable limits and will now be destroyed.
The shadow creatures moved with an agility that defied logic, leaving behind them trails of darkness. Kakarot and Vegeta prepared for the confrontation, their energies flashing in response to the threatening presence.
Well, it looks like we have new opponents. This should be interesting.
No matter who sends them, we'll not allow them to stop our progress.
The shadow creatures, speechless, rushed towards Kakarot and Vegeta with flashing speed. The battle ahead would not only be a test of strength, but a struggle between light and darkness, between the determination of the warriors and the will of the father of Zeno-sama. The battle rages and the environment, plants, stones, and sky are witness to the incredible demonstration of power. Kakarot and Vegeta, deploying a great amount of ki, are in the center ready to face the two mysterious shadow warriors that attack them. Shadow Creature 1 moves at breakneck speed, leaving only flashes of darkness in its wake. Its form is ethereal, almost impossible to follow with the eye. It attacks with incredible precision, throwing punches and kicks that defy the perception of time. Shadow Creature 2 stands out for its devastating power. Its every strike sends out waves of dark energy that distort the surrounding space. Its presence emanates an ominous aura that shakes even the particles of space.
The fight begins with Kakarot and Vegeta charging forward, but the shadow creatures respond with astonishing agility, dodging every blow and counterattacking with almost invisible movements. Faced with the speed of the Shadow Warriors, Kakarot and Vegeta are forced to raise their power to Super Saiyan level.
Vegeta, these guys are incredibly fast. I can't even keep up with their moves.
Looks like our usual speed isn't enough. We'll have to raise our power to the maximum.
Both Saiyans concentrate, their golden auras bursting as they transform into Super Saiyan. Their golden hair lights up the space as they launch into a fierce offensive. But the Shadow Warriors remain equally agile, gracefully dodging the attacks. The intensity of the power illuminates the space.
Now, Vegeta, let's go all out.
Let's go, Kakarot.
The Saiyans rush towards these Shadow Warriors with a fierce offensive. However, the shadow creatures dodge their attacks with surprising grace, moving through the energy blast with ease.
Is that the best you can do, Saiyans?
Their speed is admirable, but they're still not up to par. Damn it! It can't go on like this, Kakarot. We need something else.
You're right, Vegeta. Let's take this to the next level.
Faced with persistent speed of the Shadow Warriors, Kakarot and Vegeta rise their power even higher, transforming into Super Saiyan Blue. Their blue auras flash with intensity and the pressure of their power shakes the surrounding space. However, the Shadow Warriors are not daunted. The battle reaches its peak as the four warriors are engulfed in a frenzy of energy. Kakarot launches his attack called Kamehameha, and Vegeta launches his final flash attack, but the Shadow Warriors respond with counterattacks that defy the laws of physics. Then the clash of these powerful attacks causes an immense explosion. At the precise moment that both Saiyan warriors, the shadow creatures, collided their attacks, the explosion resulting from the collision of the attacks left a crater on the battlefield, while a dense smoke obscured the view. Amidst the haze, Goku with a serious but confident expression, and Vegeta, also with a confident expression of having destroyed the shadow creatures with his attacks, stood on guard, ready to face whatever emerged from this smoke. Suddenly, as soon as the smoke dissipated from the battlefield, the shadowy creatures emerged unharmed, floating in the air with an even more intense presence. Their forms twisted, revealing an even darker and more powerful transformation. Now with eyes glowing with a more intense light, the shadow creatures uttered a great malevolent laugh and moved towards Goku and Vegeta with renowned ferocity. The sky was covered with dark clouds and lightning intermittently illuminated the scene. The creatures, once scattered, began to converge into a chaotic mass. Their bodies intertwined and merged, creating a monstrous entity that emanated a dark and malevolent aura. The fusion of the creatures was completed with a loud roar, and before Goku and Vegeta emerged, a nightmarish creature. The fused creature had a grotesque figure, with twisted limbs and glowing eyes filled with evil. Its body was enveloped in a halo of dark energy, which distorted the space around it. The ground shook with every step he took, and the waves of evil energy generated chaos on the battlefield. Goku and Vegeta exchanged determined glances. They knew they faced an unprecedented threat. The fusion of the creatures had given rise to a being of incredible power and speed. Goku frowned, clenching his fists, while Vegeta gave a cocky grin.
Kakarot, looks like things have become interesting. I didn't expect to have to face something like this.
Yes, Vegeta. This creature's no joke. We're gonna have to give it our all.
Both warriors raised their ki to the maximum, surrounding themselves with an intense golden and blue aura. Their hair stood on end and the earth trembled under the pressure of their combined power. The fused creature responded with a guttural laugh and advanced towards them with great strides.
Come on, Vegeta, let's attack together and put an end to this!
For once, Kakarot, I agree.
The battle reached its climax as Goku and Vegeta, enveloped in their golden and blue auras, launched themselves towards the fused creature. Every punch and burst of energy echoed through the air, creating a spectacle of flashes and booms. The creature, however, was not easy to defeat. Its agility and strength were astounding, dodging the Saiyans' attacks with ease.
Vegeta, we need to find an opening in its defense! Focus!
I know, Kakarot, but this thing's fast!
The fused creature responded with a ripping attack, sending the Saiyans flying across the battlefield. Goku and Vegeta, however, quickly recovered and stood up with renewed determination.
We can't underestimate this thing! Come on, Vegeta! Let's attack together!
Alright, Kakarot, together we'll defeat it.
Goku nodded and they concentrated their energies into an amazing combined attack. A brilliant flash of light and blue light materialized in their hands, growing with each second. The fused creature, seeing the imminent threat, tried to counterattack, but it was too late. Kame! Ah!
Final Flash!
The powerful beam of combined energy shot towards the fused creature, illuminating the dark battle with its radiance. However, just when impact seemed inevitable, the creature, in the last act of desperation, deployed a dark shield that managed to resist the Saiyans' assault. The result explosion sent Goku and Vegeta flying backwards, returning them to their base form, leaving them dazed and severely injured on the ground. The fused creature, though weakened, struggled to its feet, its malevolent aura flickering, but far from fading completely.
Vegeta, we're in trouble. This thing's stronger than we thought.
Vegeta, however, lay motionless on the ground with visible wounds and his aura rapidly diminishing.
Vegeta! Don't give up, Vegeta!
The fused creature, slowly recovering, calmly approached towards Vegeta with a palpable malevolence in its glowing eyes.
Your efforts are futile. I'm the amalgam of darkness itself. This is the end of you, Saiyan Prince.
Goku, full of rage and despair, stood up and threw himself towards the creature with what was left of his strength. However, the creature, with a simple wave of its hand, unleashed a wave of dark energy that enveloped Kakarot and threw him violently to the ground.
Vegeta, we need a plan.
The fused creature approached Vegeta, lifting him off the ground with one hand. The Saiyan Prince, barely conscious, opened his eyes to meet the cold, merciless gaze of his energy.
Kakarot, do whatever it takes.
The fused creature, with a contemptuous gesture, threw Vegeta back to the ground, leaving him on the verge of death. The battle, which had begun with hope, now became bleaker than ever. With his partner down and his own strength waning, Kakarot faced a strength that seemed insurmountable. Goku, sensing the desperation of the situation, recalled the hermit seeds he carried with him. The moment the fused creature came speeding towards him, Goku managed to dodge the blow swiftly, approached Vegeta and handed him one of the valuable seeds.
Vegeta, eat this! It'll give you the energy to keep fighting!
At the same time, Goku also consumed one of the seeds. Vegeta, barely conscious, accepted the seed and consumed it urgently. The hermit seed acted quickly, healing Vegeta's wounds and restoring his life energy. Flashes of golden light surrounded the Saiyan Prince as he stood up, his eyes regaining determination.
Kakarot, don't underestimate me. I can keep fighting.
Fine, Vegeta, but we need something else to defeat this creature. Do you remember the fusion technique?
Vegeta frowned but nodded in understanding. Both Saiyans positioned themselves in front of the fused creature, focusing their energies.
Vegeta, let's do it! Let's merge!
I don't think it'll come to this, Kakarot, but I have no choice.
Both warriors stood side by side, raising their hands into the front and began to concentrate their energies. The atmosphere was filled with a brilliant glow as the two Saiyans merged into a single entity. The resulting figure was a perfect combination of Goku and Vegeta, with a powerful golden aura enveloping their fused bodies. This fusion creature showed signs of unease as it witnessed the transformation. The new Saiyan entity turned to it with a determined look. The fusion between Goku and Vegeta, known as Gogeta, and his Super Saiyan form was now evident. Gogeta, with the combined voice of Goku and Vegeta, said, "Prepare for defeat. We're the fusion of the Saiyans, and there's nothing we cannot overcome." With a unified shout, the Saiyan fusion lunged towards the fused creature with incredible speed and power. The battle between the Saiyan fusion and the fused creature erupted into a frenzy of power and skill. Every move, every blow, every burst of energy shook the battlefield. The earth trembled under the intensity of the confrontation, and the sky lit up with the sparks of energy released during the fight. Gogeta, with the combination of Goku's cunning and Vegeta's determination, proved to be an unstoppable force. However, the fused creature did not yield easily, showing a resilience that defied expectations. Both contenders were at a stalemate, each pushing their limits to the max. Goku and Vegeta, in their fused form, began to feel the need to unleash more power to overcome their more formidable foe. In a moment of perfect synchronization, both Saiyans raised their ki to the limit. and the atmosphere itself began to be distorted with the built-up pressure.
It's time to take this to the next level!
In a dazzling flash, the Saiyan fusion underwent an astonishing metamorphosis. His once golden hair now turned sapphire blue, and his aura took on a heavenly hue. The transformation to Super Saiyan Blue had taken place. The fused creature recoiled momentarily as it witnessed the new form. Shocked by the magnitude of the power unleashed, however, the Saiyan fusion showed no mercy and lunged towards with dizzying speed.
Prepare for true Saiyan strength!
The attacks and counterattacks reached a speed that defied perception. The fused creature, despite its previous endurance, was outmatched by the speed and aggressiveness of the Saiyan fusion in its Super Saiyan Blue form. The battle had not yet come to an end. In a final attempt to resist, the fused creature unleashed its own dark power, enveloping the Saiyan fusion in a spiral of chaotic energy. Gogeta, in response, concentrated his energy to the maximum in an act of rage.
Let's go farther!
The energy surrounding the Saiyan fusion intensified and exploded in a dazzling burst. The bright blue aura became more intense, and the power of the Saiyan fusion increased to unimaginable levels. The sky lit up with glows and waves of energy as the fused creature faced Gogeta's unstoppable strength. However, in an unexpected twist, the creature began to build up a dark and sinister energy, revealing a hidden power.
Your resistance is impressive, Saiyans, but you have not seen my true potential.
The fused creature transformed, its fusion distorting further. A black aura filled with malevolence surrounded its body as its eyes glowed with terrifying intensity.
What the hell is it doing?
The fused creature, now imbued with a new dark power, lunged at Gogeta with surprising speed. Despite Gogeta's formidable strength in his Super Saiyan Blue form, the fused creature seemed to be able to anticipate even more.
Now you'll experience true darkness.
Gogeta sensed the threat, deciding to take his own power to the extreme. In a blink of an eye, he activated the technique, the Kaioken. His blue aura multiplied into a mixture of blue and red, and the intensity of the battle reached levels never seen before.
It's time to put an end to this! Kaioken!
Gogeta's speed and strength multiplied exponentially, and the fused creature was momentarily caught off guard. However, the creature counterattacked with a blast of dark energy that enveloped Gogeta, but he struggled to resist. Gogeta, in his Kaioken state, felt the need to raise his power even higher. Thus, his ki increased, causing the earth to tremble from such immense power, destroying mountains and lifting rocks into the skies. At that precise moment, he disappeared from the sight of the fused creature, appearing from behind and creating a glowing bluish sphere of energy that materialized between his hands.
Final Kamehameha!
The energy sphere impacted against the fused creature with unparalleled force. The resulting explosion lit up the sky, dispersed the creature's dark energy. However, when the light faded, the fused creature emerged once again, albeit visibly weakened.
Do not underestimate my power, Saiyans. I have attained a form beyond your comprehension.
Gogeta, sensing the gravity of the situation, prepared for the next confrontation. The battle, far from over, was entering even more dangerous terrain, with the fate of the universe hanging in the balance in this fierce struggle between light and darkness. The battlefield was plunged into utter chaos, with destructive shockwaves reverberating throughout space. Gogeta, with his combined aura of Super Saiyan Blue and Kaioken, was moving at speeds that defied perception. The fused creature, despite his new enhanced form, was momentarily outmatched by the Saiyan warrior's speed.
Darkness cannot defeat light! It's time to seal your fate!
Though weakened, the fused creature did not give up. With impressive speed, it lunged towards Gogeta, unleashing a series of dark attacks that even defied the Kaioken's speed.
Your light is but a fleeting glimmer. In the eternity of darkness, you will suffer.
Gogeta, with sharp reflexes at precise moments, will dodge the fused creature's attacks. The battle reached an even greater frenzy, with a clash of fists and kicks creating waves of energy that swept the surrounding landscape. The once dark and stormy sky were illuminated by the flashes on the contest. In the beginning of the moment of opportunity, Gogeta channeled the Kaioken to an even higher level. His aura became more intense, mixing blue with red in a dazzling display. Seeing the new burst of power, the fused creature recoiled momentarily, a moment Gogeta took advantage of to gather energy.
This is the limit of your darkness. Prepare for the end.
Gogeta, with unmatched speed, appeared in front of the fused creature, concentrating his energy to a single point. A glowing sphere of energy formed between his hands, but this time, the sphere was not blue, it was a mixture of colors. A fusion of the power of Super Saiyan Blue and Kaioken.
Kaioken 20 times! Final Kamehameha!
The now larger, more powerful energy sphere hurled with impressive speed towards the fused creature. The resulting explosion illuminated the entire horizon, causing the mountains and valleys to be enveloped in a dazzling glow. When the light faded, the fused creature lay defeated on the ground. Its dark aura completely dissipated. Gogeta, with his Super Saiyan Blue form and Kaioken still activated, watched cautiously. The intense battle had come to an end, but the price of the confrontation was reflected in the devastated earth and the wear and tear visible on the Saiyan warrior.
I hope that was enough. This universe can't take any more of this destruction.
With a flash, Gogeta deactivated the Kaioken and returned to his base form. As silence descended over the battlefield, the lingering question was whether the threat had truly been eliminated or if there was still challenges to be faced in the vast cosmos. Goku and Vegeta, feeling that the threat had been neutralized for the moment, separated from the Saiyan fusion. The intensity of the battle had left both Saiyans exhausted, but their attention was diverted to a disturbing reality. In the corner of their vision, they watched as a small dark creature made its way towards where Gohan and Broly were standing.
Vegeta, something's happening! We must get there fast!
Those two are in trouble if that thing gets to them. Let's go, Goku!
Both Saiyans, despite their exhaustion, dashed towards Gohan and Broly's location with as much speed as possible. As they approached, they could see the dark creature getting closer and closer to the two warriors. Gohan, who was training with Broly in an attempt to increase his skills, noticed Goku and Vegeta's arrival urgently.
Dad! Vegeta! Something's coming!
Broly, with his piercing gaze, had also sensed the approaching threat.
Evil creature, we will fight!
The small dark creature, noticing the presence of the Saiyans, stopped advancing and displayed a malevolent laugh.
Ha ha ha! Your victory was short-lived. This is only the first of many surprises.
Before they could react, the dark creature split into multiple smaller shadows, surrounding Gohan and Broly with astonishing speed.
Watch out, Broly! They're fast and dangerous!
We will fight! We won't let them defeat us!
Goku and Vegeta, arriving just in time, joined the battle. The battle became a chaotic dance of blows and explosions as the Saiyans fought the dark shadows that multiplied endlessly.
Let's finish this quickly! Gohan, Broly, stay strong!
Got it, Vegeta!
Broly, unleashing his titanic power, emitted a wave of energy that temporarily dispersed the dark shadows. However, the dark creature, in a final act of desperation, merged back into a larger, more powerful form.
My shadows cannot be so easily defeated. The real battle has just begun.
The shadow creature, now strengthened and more menacing than ever, faced the four Saiyan warriors with palpable malevolence. Gohan, Broly, Goku, and Vegeta moved into battle stance, facing the shadow creature with determination.
Come on, guys! Let's work together and put an end to this menace once and for all!
Broly growled in agreement, his power emanating from him with an imposing force. Goku and Vegeta, despite their earlier exhaustion, raised their energies ready for the battle ahead. The shadow creature, with a sinister laugh, lunged towards them with surprising speed. The Saiyans responded with a coordinated assault, launching energy blasts and performing combo attacks. However, the shadow creature was agile and dodged their attacks with ease.
We can't let this thing get away. Concentrate on attacking together.
You're right, Vegeta. If we fight them as a team, we can overcome anything.
The four Saiyans synchronized their movements, attacking in harmony. Broly unloaded titanic blows. Gohan used his agility and advanced techniques, while Goku and Vegeta coordinated their energies to create a combined assault. Despite their efforts, the shadow creature proved to be resilient and adaptable. It defended with cunning and counterattacked with fury. In a moment of tension, the shadow creature unleashed a dark glow that enveloped its form, transforming to an even more powerful and monstrous version.
It's getting stronger again!
It doesn't matter. I'll destroy it!
The battle intensified as the shadow creature and its enhanced form launched waves of dark energy and unleashed more devastating attacks. The Saiyans, however, did not back down. Despite the gravity of the situation, their determination burned stronger than ever.
There's no limit to our strength when we fight together. Come on, guys, we can't lose.
This thing doesn't know who it's messing with. Get ready for what's coming.
Gohan, Broly, Goku, and Vegeta channeled their energies to the maximum, shaking the earth under the intensity of their combined power. In a unified act, the four Saiyans raised their ki to the limit and lunged towards the shadow creature with indomitable resolve. The shadow creature, now in its strengthened form, unleashed a dark energy that enveloped Broly, possessing the mighty Saiyan with a malevolent influence. Broly, his eyes now awash with shadows, stood before the other Saiyans with a menacing presence.
Broly, I won't let you be used as a puppet. We must save him. We won't let this thing manipulate Broly. Come on, guys, let's protect ourselves and save our friend.
This is getting more complicated than I thought. But no matter, we won't let the darkness win.
The battle began with the shadow creature using Broly's immense power against them. The controlled Saiyans' attacks were fierce, with waves of energy and bursts of ki that challenged even the most experienced warriors. The Saiyans dodged and counterattacked, but the shadow creature took advantage of Broly's brute strength to counter his moves.
We must weaken it enough to free Broly! Dad, Vegeta, let's follow the plan and attack in unison!
The three Saiyans coordinated, launching a series of swift and powerful attacks. However, the shadow creature moved with agility, dodging most of the blows and countering with blows of its own. Broly, under the influence of the dark possession, was showing superhuman endurance.
It's not enough! Broly, fight against this influence!
We must force him to break free. We're gonna give it our all.
In a moment of desperation, the Saiyans decided to raise their powers to the maximum. Goku transformed into Super Saiyan second stage, Gohan advanced his mystical form, and Vegeta unleashed his own power into Super Saiyan second stage. The three Saiyans surrounded Broly, launching a combination of flurry of powerful attacks.
Broly, resist! Don't let their darkness consume you!
The shadow creature, feeling the combined presence of the three Saiyan warriors, showed signs of weakness. However, in a desperate act, the dark energy intensified its hold on Broly, raising its power even higher, unleashing unbridled fury.
We can't give up! We're going to free Broly, whatever it takes!
The battle reached its climax as the three Saiyan warriors, Goku, Gohan, and Vegeta, clashed against the shadow creature possessing Broly. The unleashed energy created a spectacle of flashes, explosions, and shockwaves that shook the battlefield. Goku, with his power as a Super Saiyan, moved with astonishing speed, launched energy blasts and accurate punches at the shadow creature. Gohan, in his mystical form, unleashed a combination of fast attacks and advanced techniques, seeking to weaken the dark possession that controlled Broly. Vegeta, in his Super Saiyan second phase form, displayed titanic power, coordinating his attacks with calculated precision.
Broly, listen to my voice! Don't be consumed by this darkness!
The shadow creature, however, resisted tenaciously, harnessing Broly's brute strength and ferocity to counter the Saiyans' attacks. Broly, under the dark possession, responded with unstoppable strength, his attacks more intense and uncontrolled.
We need to weaken that possession! Come on, guys, keep up the pressure!
This dark power won't last forever. We must resist!
The battle grew more frantic. With each passing moment, the shadow creature, sensing the threat of the Saiyans, intensified its hold on Broly, fusing its dark energy with the brute strength of the legendary Saiyan.
We can't back down now! Broly's our friend, and we won't let this darkness control him!
In a moment of perfect synchronization, the three Saiyans focused their energies into a coordinated attack. Goku launched a Kamehameha, Gohan unleashed a Masenko, and Vegeta fired a final flash, all aimed at the shadow creature. The resulting explosion illuminated the battlefield, creating an energy storm. However, when the light faded, the shadow creature Broly still stood, visibly weakened but far from defeated.
It's not enough! We must find a way to free Broly from this possession!
At that moment, the shadow creature, taking advantage of the Saiyans' momentary weakness, launched a surprise attack, sending Goku and Gohan to the ground. Vegeta, with his rage in his eyes, stood up determined.
Enough's enough! We won't let this thing continue to manipulate Broly.
Vegeta concentrated his ki to the maximum, unleashing a new transformation. His intense blue aura transformed into an even brighter and more powerful hue.
Super Saiyan Blue!
The atmosphere itself seemed to tremble at the magnitude of the transformation. Vegeta, now in his evolved form, launched himself towards the shadow creature with renewed speed and power. Vegeta's transformation in Super Saiyan Blue Evolved caused a dramatic change in the intensity of the battle. His bright blue aura flashed with overwhelming energy as he charged towards the shadowy creature and Broly, who was still under his influence.
It's time to put an end to this. Broly, I'll fight to free you from this darkness.
The shadow creature, sensing the threat posed by Super Saiyan Blue, adopted a defensive stance. On the other hand, Broly, his eyes still darkened, prepared to face Vegeta. Vegeta unleashed a flurry of quick and precise attacks, combining punches and kicks with astonishing speed. Each move was charged with the strength of the new form, and the shadow creature was forced to retreat in the face of Vegeta's fury.
Broly, regain control. I'll not allow this darkness to consume you.
Broly, under the influence of the Dark Possession, responded with impressive stamina. His attacks were brutal and uncontrolled, but Vegeta moved with a dexterity that defied expectations.
I need to find an opening in this possession.
In an act of bravery, Vegeta launched himself directly towards Broly. Their fists collided forcefully, and Vegeta, using all his skill, made precise strikes that temporarily weakened the dark influence.
Broly, fight this! You're stronger than this darkness!
The shadowy creature, seeing Vegeta's resistance, increased his energy and fused even more with Broly. Now the dark influence was more entrenched than ever, and Broly unleashed an explosion of wild power.
You can't stop me, Saiyan Prince!
Vegeta, not backing down, continued to engage Broly. The battle reached new heights as both warriors unleashed their most powerful attacks. Vegeta launched a Big Bang attack while Broly responded with a gigantic charge of dark energy. The collision of energies generated a huge explosion that blanketed the area. After the dust settled, Vegeta lay on the ground, clearly exhausted but not giving up.
I can't lose. My determination's stronger than your darkness.
The battle between Vegeta and Broly, who was possessed by the shadow creature, reached a critical point. The overflowing energy of the confrontation was spreading across the battlefield, distorting the air and creating palpable tension. At that crucial moment, Goku found himself regaining consciousness, stood up, and immediately went to Saiyan's Prince's side.
Vegeta, let's go! Let's give it all we've got!
Goku's transformation into Super Saiyan Phase 2 and joined the fray. The shadow creature, seeing the arrival of another Saiyan warrior, prepared to face the new threat.
Kakarot, you're just in time. This thing has gotten stronger with Broly.
We'll face it together! Broly, we won't let this darkness control you!
The three Saiyans stood in formation, ready to deal with the shadow creature fused with Broly. The intensity of the conflict increased even more with flashes of energy and clashes of fists echoing throughout the battlefield.
Come on, Kakarot, let's attack in unison and free Broly.
I got it, Vegeta! Together, we'll free him!
The Saiyans coordinated their attacks, launching a combined blast towards the shadow creature. Despite their efforts, Broly's dark possession was still resisting, fueled by the brute strength of the legendary Saiyan. Broly, under the influence of the shadow creature, unleashed an uncontrolled fury. His attacks were unpredictable and devastating, putting the Saiyans on the defensive. Goku, Vegeta, and the shadow creature continued to exchange energy blasts and powerful blows.
Vegeta, we must break that possession! We can't let Broly fall into darkness!
Roger that, Kakarot. Let's keep attacking together.
Amidst the chaos of the battlefield, the fiery aura of the Saiyans lit up the sky, a visual manifestation of their mammoth power. Goku and Vegeta, feeling the weight of the battle, decided to take it a step further. They joined their energies in a symphony of power, a final bid to tear apart the shadows enveloping the evil presence. The shadow creature on the brink of the abyss responded with desperation. It raised its own power and the darkness churned with intensity as it struggled to resist the combined onslaught of the Saiyans. The clash of energies created a cataclysm of flashes and booms, shaking the battlefield to its core. At that critical moment, the energy explosion was unleashed with dazzling magnificence. The earth shook, and the shockwaves swept across the landscape, leaving behind a trail of destruction. Goku, Vegeta, and Broly, enveloped in the blanket of the explosion, were momentarily eclipsed by the blinding light and dancing shadow. When the shimmering luminosity faded, the Saiyans found themselves faced with a new scenario. On the ground lay Broly, his figure shrouded in a residual haze of the contest. The dark aura that had consumed him had finally dissipated. Stillness reigned on the battlefield. As the warriors approached with worried looks, the formidable warrior who now resisted, his power darkened, finally silenced.
We did it, Vegeta. Broly's free.
Yes, but this shadow creature's still a problem. We can't let our guard down.
Vegeta nodded grimly as they watched Broly, who lay on the ground, slowly recovering from the intense battle. However, at that moment of apparent calm, the shadow creature, cunning and unnoticed, had left Broly's possession to seek a new host. The dark entity swiftly swept into the shadows, unnoticed by the Saiyans, who still assessing their companion's condition. Silently, the shadow creature crept towards Gohan, who had been watching the battle from a distance. Gohan, oblivious to the threat looming over him, felt a shiver run down his spine just as the shadow creature enveloped him with its dark presence. A momentary flash of its eyes indicated that something was terribly wrong. At that instant, Gohan, with a sudden alteration in his expression, went on guard without warning. His gaze, now posed by the shadow creature, glowed with a malevolence that contrasted with his gentle nature. Goku, noticing the sudden tension, turned towards Gohan, but before he could react, Gohan, under the influence of the shadow creature, moved with supernatural speed. The confrontation with Broly had left the Saiyans exhausted, and the shadow creature, seizing the opportunity, vanished into the darkness along with Gohan. Vegeta, realizing the situation, gritted his teeth in fury. The threat persisted, and now Gohan, a valuable ally, was in the hands of the shadows. Goku and Vegeta, despite their exhaustion, prepared for a new confrontation, aware that the battle had not yet come to an end. The tension in the air was palpable, as Goku and Vegeta, still worried about Broly, with determination, turned towards the place where the dark entity had vanished.
Damn it, where'd that thing go?
I don't know, Vegeta, but we must find it before it hurts Gohan.
The two Saiyans, quick as the wind, rushed towards where Gohan had been standing, their senses alert. The shadow creature, now inside Gohan, emerged from the shadows with a sinister laugh.
Looks like they're not as cunning as they thought. Now I have a new toy for my plans.
Get out of Gohan, you damn creature!
I'll not allow you to possess my son!
Ha! You think you could stop me? My power possesses even more of your combined forces. Do not underestimate the Saiyans. We have overcome greater challenges than you.
Leave Gohan and face your fate, creature. You'll not be victorious.
The shadow creature, now in control of Gohan, smiled malevolently before responding.
We'll see how long you can resist. Gohan is now an instrument of my will.
The shadow creature possessing Gohan unleashed a burst of dark energy that distorted the surrounding space. Goku and Vegeta suddenly found themselves during a chaotic confrontation, with Gohan now transformed into an instrument of the malevolent entity. The waves of energy radiating from Gohan's possessed figure created an ominous aura that filled the battlefield, defying the Saiyans' endurance and determination. The Saiyans, in their Super Saiyan Blue form, prepared for the impending clash. The shadow creature, using Gohan's body, moved with supernatural agility, dodging the Saiyans' first attacks with grace and malice. Gohan, his eyes now filled with darkness, lunged at Goku with astonishing speed. Goku blocked Gohan's first few blows with difficulty, feeling the enhanced strength and speed of his new controlled son. The fight was intense, each move charged with power and ferocity. Meanwhile, Vegeta positioned himself strategically, assessing the situation, looking for an opening to attack. The shadow creature, through Gohan, unleashed a flurry of attack, which devastating blows that kept Goku on the defensive. However, Goku's ability to adapt quickly to the battle allowed him to counter the attacks and counterattack with his own overwhelming power. Vegeta, sensing an opportunity, lunged at the shadow creature from an unexpected angle. However, the dark entity had sharp reflexes and deflected Vegeta's attack with ease, throwing Gohan against Goku as a distraction. The Shadows creature's strategy paid off, as it took advantage of the distraction to hit Vegeta with a beam of dark energy. Vegeta, although he resisted the impact, was momentarily weakened. The entity, now with a malevolent smile, turned to him.
Damn it! This isn't over, shadow creature.
Goku, reacting quickly, stepped between the shadow creature and Vegeta.
Vegeta, hold on! We can't let this thing divide us.
The shadow creature, enjoying the chaos at its zone, released a dark aura that enveloped both Saiyans. The dark energy sought to confuse and weaken their senses. However, the Saiyans' instinctive connection to Ki enabled them to resist the dark influence. The battle raged in a frenzy of clashing colors and energies. Gohan, controlled by the shadow creature, moved with a mixture of speed and agility that defied the laws of physics. Goku and Vegeta, each focusing on their own battlefront, were trying to coordinate their attacks to free Gohan from the dark possession. "Gohan, fight this darkness! You're stronger than this!" Gohan, though showing flashes of resistance, was caught in an internal struggle between his will and the shadow creature's control. The battle grew more challenging. With each passing second, the shadow creature reveled in its ability to manipulate and corrupt one of Earth's mightiest warriors. Vegeta, recovering from the earlier onslaught, threw himself back into the fray. The shadow creature, however, anticipated his attack and gracefully dodged Vegeta's attempts to strike it. The Dark Entity counterattacked with a series of precise blows that forced Vegeta to retreat.
"You damn Shadow. Don't underestimate the Prince of the Saiyans."
Goku, seeing his partner's difficulty, raised his power to the maximum. Dazzling energy emanated from his Super Saiyan Blue form as he prepared for a concentrated attack. The shadow creature, noticing the glowing threat, diverted its attention to Goku. "Vegeta, keep up the pressure! I'm gonna concentrate my energy to free Gohan!" Vegeta nodded and increased his offensive, distracting the shadow creature as Goku concentrated his power. The fight reached a new level of intensity, with each move echoing across the vast battlefield. The energy collided, creating shockwaves that distorted reality itself. Goku, eyes glowing with determination, unleashed his most powerful attack. A sphere of glowing blue energy formed in his outstretched hands. Charged with the combined strength of the Saiyans, the spear grew in size and the power as Goku had held it in place. "It's time to free Gohan!" The shadow creature, realizing the threat, moved quickly to stop Goku's attack. Vegeta, taking advantage of the distraction, lunged with renewed fury, looking for an opening to attack. The battle reached its climax when Goku released the energy sphere, ascending it directly towards the shadow creature. The energy sphere burst into a dazzling flash, illuminating the battlefield with intense light. Shockwaves swept through the darkness as Goku's purifying energy sought to free Gohan from the shadow creature's possession. However, as the light faded and the earth stopped shaking, the shadow creature emerged seemingly unharmed. The Dark Entity, now irritated, turned to the Saiyans with a twisted laugh.
"Is that all you can do? My power is unbreakable."
Goku and Vegeta, despite their exhaustion, prepared for the next assault. The battle, far from ending, dragged on into confrontation of epic proportions. Darkness and light collided in an endless clash, with the will of the Saiyans resisting against the entity that threatened to plunge them into the shadows. The dark creature, after resisting Goku's powerful attack, showed a malicious smile. A dark glow enveloped Gohan, and his body began to tremble with intensity. A guttural scream echoed through the air as the Dark Entity forced a unique transformation on the Saiyan warrior. Gohan, under the shadow creature's influence, contorted and his body was enveloped in a dark, feral energy. The earth trembled with the intensity of the transformation, and Gohan's figure began to change. Defined musculature, red eyes, a wild gaze, long gray hair, and emerging in the new form, Gohan Dark Beast. Vegeta and Goku, shocked by the unexpected evolution, instinctively recoiled from the overwhelming presence of Dark Gohan Beast. The shadow creature had accomplished what it could not do with Broly, unleash a unique and uncontrolled transformation on Gohan. Dark Beast Gohan, now freed from any hint of rationality, roared skyward, emitting an overwhelming energy that shook the battlefield. His eyes glowed with an animalistic intensity, and his posture indicated that human control was suppressed.
"This can't be happening. What did that thing do?"
The shadow creature managed to unlock something inside Gohan. This won't be easy.
The shadow creature, pleased with the success of its manipulation, watched the scene with satisfaction.
"Now, witness my true power. The Saiyan Beast Warrior. How do you plan to stop him?"
Dark Beast Gohan let out a deafening roar and lunged towards Vegeta with impressive speed. Dark Beast Gohan's attacks were ferociously savage, his brute strength and speed surpassing even Broly's most rampaging transformation. Vegeta, using his speed and agility, dodged Dark Beast Gohan's first attacks. However, the Saiyan Beast Warrior's ferocity was unpredictable, and Vegeta was forced to deploy all his skill to stay out of range of the devastating attacks. Goku, assessing the situation, transformed into Super Saiyan Blue and rushed to Vegeta's aid. The two Saiyans fought in tactical coordination, looking to open an opportunity to counter Gohan's savage new form. The battle became a whirlwind of energy, with explosions and crashes echoing across the battlefield. The shadow creature in the shadows continued to manipulate and fuel Dark Beast Gohan's fury. The Saiyan strategy was becoming more and more challenging as Dark Beast Gohan seemed to be one step ahead, anticipating their moves.
Damn it! Gohan Beast is too unpredictable.
We must find a way to free Gohan from this transformation. We can't let the shadow control his true power.
As the Saiyans faced Gohan Beast's fury, the shadow creature watched from the shadows, enjoying the chaos he had unleashed. The situation was becoming more critical with each passing moment, and the Saiyans' endurance was being tested in the face of Beast Gohan's uncontrollable fury. The battle raged on in a titanic struggle between light and darkness, with the hope of freeing Gohan from the influence of the shadow creature hanging in delicate balance. The Saiyans, determined to overcome this challenge, faced an enemy that had managed to unleash an even greater internal threat than before. While the intense battle raged on the battlefield, Piccolo, the Namekian sage, was immersed in his mental training somewhere secluded. His concentration was so deep that he could feel an abrupt shift in ki, a disturbance that reverberated through space and time. A shiver ran down his back, indicating the gravity of the situation.
Something's not right.
The Namekian instantly stood up, his cloak billowing as he focused on the direction of the glowing chaos. The power he felt was not just brute force. It was an amalgam of dark energies that seemed to defy the very essence of reality. Wasting no time, Piccolo prepared to approach this side of the conflict. Back on the battlefield, Goku and Vegeta fought valiantly against Dark Beast Gohan, who moved with uncontrollable ferocity under the influence of the shadow creature. The dark entity, sensing Piccolo's arrival, smirked.
Looks like we have a new guest. This just gets more interesting.
Goku and Vegeta focused on Gohan Beast, noticing Piccolo's presence as he appeared on the battlefield with a serenity that contrasted with the surrounding chaos.
What happened here? What have you done with Gohan? That shadow thing possessed Gohan and transformed it into a wild beast.
We can't free Gohan this way. The shadow creature manipulates his power in unimaginable ways.
Dark Beast Gohan, noticing Piccolo's arrival, turned to him with wild eyes. The shadow creature, enjoying the chaos, prepared for the next act of this heartbreaking play.
Welcome, Piccolo. You're just in time to witness the inevitable downfall of these Saiyans.
Don't underestimate the Saiyans or my determination. I'm here to free Gohan.
The Namekian braced himself for the confrontation, deploying his ki with an intensity that made it clear he would not be a mere spectator in this battle. Dark Beast Gohan, fueled by the shadowy influence, roared and lunged towards Piccolo with a speed that defied all logic. The battle became even more chaotic with Piccolo's entrance. His movements were precise and calculated, contrasting with the wild ferocity of Dark Beast Gohan. Goku and Vegeta, aware of Piccolo's strategic skill, adjusted their approach to coordinate their attacks with the Namekian. Meanwhile, the shadow creature watched the battle with a Machiavellian smile, enjoying the confrontation between the forces of light and shadow. The dark entity was determined to prove that its influence was insurmountable. The fight unfolded in a whirlwind of colliding energies, with Piccolo demonstrating his tactical and strategic prowess. Dark Beast Gohan, however, remained a formidable challenge, his erratic movements and uncontrolled strength testing the tenacity of the warriors on the battlefield.
Goku, Vegeta, we need to plan to break the connection between Gohan and that shadow creature.
You're right, Piccolo. We need to attack from different fronts and destabilize that connection.
I'll take care of keeping Beast Gohan busy. Kakarot, you use the connection you have with your son to try to isolate the shadow creature.
Goku and Vegeta, coordinating their efforts with Piccolo's strategic expertise, went on the assault. Piccolo used his wisdom to be able to devise a way to get Dark Beast Gohan out of said possession, while Vegeta unleashed his fury with calculated attacks to keep the beast at bay. As the battle continued, the shadow creature began to feel the pressure of the combined strategy of the Saiyans and Piccolo. The connection between Gohan and the dark entity was under threat, and the shadow creature, despite its confidence, was beginning to show signs of concern. The battle was far from over, but the warriors' resilience was growing stronger in the face of the adversity that loomed over them. As Piccolo continued his mental struggle to free Gohan from the shadow creature's possession, his Namekian senses sharpened. Keen perception led him to identify a small shadow leech clinging to Dark Beast Gohan's lower neck, a detail that had not been evident in Broly's previous possession due to his long hair covering that region.
That's it. The key in this little shadow leech on his neck. We must eliminate it to free Gohan.
Piccolo's revelation attracted the attention of Vegeta and Goku on the physical battlefield. Vegeta, upon hearing this, turned his gaze to the back of Gohan Beast's dark neck and noticed the presence of the Shadow Leech.
A Shadow Leech? That explains why we couldn't free Broly this way.
How do we eliminate it without harming Gohan?
As Piccolo struggled to maintain his mental connection, he analyzed this situation and came up with a strategy.
If we attack the Shadow Leech directly, we might harm Gohan in the process. We need a precise way to eliminate it without endangering his life.
So what's the plan, Piccolo?
Goku, you've mastered Ultra Instinct, but you can only maintain it for a few seconds. We need to take advantage of those brief moments to distract Dark Beast Gohan and allow you to get close enough to destroy the Shadow Leech.
Understood, Piccolo. I'll do my best.
But how do we make sure Beast Gohan doesn't attack while Kakarot's approaching? That's the tricky part. We need to keep Gohan busy and distracted. Vegeta, your attacks must be precise and constant, keeping his attention on you.
I will, but Kakarot, don't make me regret this.
The battle resumed with renowned intensity. Vegeta went on the offensive, attacking Gohan Dark Beast with a series of swift and powerful blows. Gohan responded with ferocity, but Vegeta maintained agile, dodging his attacks while keeping the savage Saiyan warrior's attention. At that moment, Goku concentrated, channeling Ultra Instinct. An aura of flickering energy surrounded him as he activated the powerful transformation. His speed increased exponentially, allowing him to easily dodge Dark Beast Gohan's attacks.
Now, Goku, now's your chance.
Goku in his Ultra Instinct state moved with superhuman speed towards Gohan's rear. The shadow creature, still focused on the fierce confrontation with Vegeta, did not notice Goku's approach. This is my chance to end this! With pinpoint accuracy, Goku reached out his hand and touched the small shadow leech on Gohan's neck. The leech, upon being touched by the Ultra Instinct energy, began to fade, emitting a dark screech before dissolving completely. Dark Beast Gohan, losing connection with the Shadow Leech, shook violently, as if releasing himself from a trance. Vegeta, noticing the change, cautiously stepped back as Goku returned to his normal state. What happened?
Kakarot seems to have found a way to free you from that thing.
It was risky, but it worked.
Well done, Goku, but don't let your guard down. This shadow creature might have more tricks up its sleeve.
The immediate threat had been neutralized. The shadow creature, watching from the shadows, moving away unnoticed by the Saiyan warriors, was not about to give up. So the shadow creature set out to return to its master.
Hey, insects! Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications if you don't want to be eliminated by me, the Prince of the Saiyan.
Lord Vegeta, you forgot to mention the subscription to your Patreon to have exclusive manga content in advance. Is that right, Lord Vegeta?
You're right, Whis. Don't forget to become a member of my Patreon to have much more exclusive content and news about the various manga that will be coming to the channel. Become a member or you'll be destroyed! Final Flash!